Meat Sweats is a biatch. Orange. Meat Sweat. What is that about? Meat.
I think
Sweat?
he's referring to our when we were talking about being at the Bill and Ted Drive-In, and I got hot flashes from barbecue.
Oh shit! My mind
sweats.
went somewhere completely different. Meat Sweats.
Something I thought was really funny. A friend of mine was watching the last show, the first part of Zach's show, and he texted me saying, "This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I've never seen three geeks body shame Michael Myers as much as you guys are." I used to be in really good shape too. I just let myself go, and now I'm body shaming myself. It's not enough to body shame Michael Myers. You have to body shame yourself.
Yeah, I mean, who am I to talk? I probably would look just as bad as Wilbur did in that costume if I put it on right now. Okay, maybe not that bad, but
look at me go. You're like my tiny chef mug. It's the tiny chef. Anyway, sorry. All right, here we go.
So this is episode 11.
11.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 11, everybody.
You just did 16. You went like this.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. So 11.
Episode 11, everyone. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. Hope you liked the last one.
This episode goes to 11.
This episode goes to 11.
11, baby. That's for Lawton. That's for my buddy Lawton.
Turning it up.
Well, why couldn't we just done 10 episodes and then 10 be the highest?
I see what you did there.
So we got a lot to talk about today. Apparently, the show is getting a little more popular because
a little bit.
We are getting more comments, more questions. It's starting to get to the point where we're actually going to have to start to get picky about which ones we read and respond to, because otherwise it's going to be 3 hours of us just responding to questions. If we don't get to your question, we apologize. Keep writing in.
I mean, that's why we're here, aren't we? For our friends out there who are inquisitive, want to know more about us, have questions. They're thirsty for knowledge.
There is some questions in there that are starting to get semi-personal.
Yeah, there are, aren't there?
Yeah.
Let's take it easy with the semi-personal things.
I guess it just depends on how much we're willing to share.
That's true. That's up to us. We control that.
But yeah, feel free to ask. The worst we can say is no.
But we're going to do our best to cover a lot of stuff, a lot of your questions, a lot of your inquiries. And what did we get, Sean? We got some free stuff.
We got some free stuff.
Some gifts.
We did. And we are going to actually, Chris and I hung out last night. We went to the opening of the Sugarmint Gallery Halloween
Haunted Haddonfield Halloween
exhibit. I was able to pass off the stuff to him that we had gotten the previous episode, and we were able to exchange the things that we're going to talk about today as well. So he already has his stuff and I got my stuff, and we are going to talk about those. I got this in the mail yesterday. I ordered this online several months ago. It was an exclusive from Super 7. It was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Haunted Mansion reaction figures.
Nice. The hitchhiking ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, they're what they are. They're not amazing, but they're cute. And it was an exclusive, and it was an impulse buy, and I totally forgot I bought it, and it showed up in the mail yesterday, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I bought those.
Oh, that's cool.
So that came in the mail. It's a really cool guy named Russell Wagus. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's sent me stuff before. Really cool. You'd probably want a set of these, actually. He made these custom Halloween 3 trading card set, and he did them like all old school. I mean, look how cool these are.
Wow, that's really cool.
And like the back, each one has like a fact on the back.
Sure.
I mean, dude, they're great. It's a whole set.
Wow, those are great.
And he sent me a set also to give Tom Atkins, which since he sent it to me, I haven't seen Tom. Apparently he had edited together some ultimate cuts of Alien and Phantasm on DVD. And he sent these to me just as a gift.
His own little director's cuts of those.
Super cut. Yeah. Like I think he took probably all the extra footage that was used in Phantasm 4.
Call it a fan cut.
Fan cut. Very clever. Clever.
There you go. Fan cut.
I got this in the mail from Scream Factory the other day. The new Mask of the Red Death Blu-ray. This is a keeper. Because I love me some Vincent Price.
Who doesn't?
This one's going to get you excited. I heard that they had this exclusive at Target. And then I realized I don't own any of these on Blu-ray. So I decided to just go ahead and get it. The Rob Zombie trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. Steelbook, exclusive to Target.
Okay.
I like those films, so I don't own them on Blu-ray, so now I do.
There you go. Exciting.
Yes. Also, a very good friend of mine, dear friend, amigo, gave me this really cool T-shirt.
Oh, look at that.
This Halloween Kills special effects makeup shirt, crew shirt. How cool is that?
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. And
that's a sweet ass shirt.
That's a sweet ass shirt. And we actually have an extra one in size XL that we will be auctioning off this coming Sunday, a week from today. We're recording this on the 13th. So on the evening of the 20th on my personal Facebook page, I'll be doing a live Facebook auction, and that crew shirt will be in the auction. Not that one, because that one I'll be wearing, but the size XL one.
They're very rare. I didn't order very many.
How many think were made? Like 50? Less?
I'd less than that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I was pretty stingy this time around. There aren't very many of those left. I designed it myself and had them made. And so, we're going to auction one off. That's awesome.
So I had ordered these quite some time ago. This is
the What Sean Bought show.
I went crazy this week. This week.
You broke out that fucking Daddy Warbucks wallet, man. You're not fucking around.
I bought so much stuff at Spirit Halloween. I'm gonna do a separate video because you just be sitting here the whole time. You're already sitting here watching me do this, but
it's okay.
This is pretty cool. I think you're gonna dig these. There's a
tremendous amount of painkillers. So I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
A guy named Ryan Dowell. I don't know if you've heard of it. RyanDowellArt.com. He does these really cool old school vintage Halloween decorations. I ordered a bunch from him. Now, mind you, I was slightly disappointed they were smaller than I expected. But then again, that's my own fault for not reading the fine print. But I haven't opened them yet, but you can see them. Here's one. It's a jointed skeleton.
Oh, cool.
Jointed dancer. He's like a little clown guy.
Jointed dancer. Can't call it a clown.
Hanging banner. Can't really see it, but you can see it's got cool pumpkins.
Cool pumpkins. I like that the pumpkins aren't so goofy and happy.
Yeah. This one is a jointed skeleton. He's kind of like in a weird clown costume. It'd look a lot cooler if I took it out so you could actually see it.
Right.
A bunch of cutout decoration sets. You can see them in the picture.
Yeah. Nice.
And then he did...
That's the cornucopia package.
He did a Halloween 3 set.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can see them in there.
Is that the woman with the mouth blown open, spider coming out of her face?
Marge Gutman.
Yeah.
And then he did all 3 of the trick-or-treaters.
Who was Tom Atkins' wife at the time, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. She was married to the Silver Fox.
Yeah, look at that. I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
Check him out if you're interested. RyanDowellArt.com. That's RYAND. Oh, I'll just put it on the screen. Anyway, good stuff. And have you picked anything up, or just the stuff we got?
I picked up, the Big Lots ghost coming out of a pumpkin, and the pumpkin with the witch hat. That one that we showed on one of the last episodes.
Yeah, the ones I picked up at Big Lots.
I picked those up. I had to go to Big Lots, got those, and then I got a little ceramic pumpkin with the witch hat on it that lights up.
Where'd you get that? At Big Lots?
Big Lots. Okay. Yeah, it was super cool. So I got that. That's it. I haven't been doing a lot of shopping lately. A friend of mine dropped off something for me. A friend of mine, Mike McCash, who is special effects. Mike McCash, special effects makeup guy on American Horror Story. I worked with him for many years on Horror Story, and we're pals. And he lives down the street, so he dropped off something for me based on one of our shows.
Oh, what's that?
A little gift. You ready?
Yeah. So, what's the story on that?
Dropped off of. Remember when I said one of my get off my lawn things was I hate the loud chainsaws at freaking haunted parks.
Yes.
He thought it'd be funny to give me one because I hate them so much.
Okay.
That's Mike's sense of humor. So I might turn this into an Ash wearable thing. You know,
that would be cool.
I might rehaul this. I'm gonna rehaul this toy chainsaw. You drop that off. It's free. We got some gifts.
Yeah.
We got some cool presents from our friends out there watching. I forgot to I got this last night at the gallery. This awesome print, which I was super stoked about. I almost bought the original, but it was sold already. But this cool Myers House, beautiful painting from Alan D'Alacio. Sean and I, we got gifts.
Yeah.
One of them is from Carlos Xavier. Sent us a package, and
he actually gave me 2 signed Angelica Houston Ice Pirates photos.
Carlos Xavier sent us some. He sent a little letter with some gifts. He said, "Fellers, the signed Angelica Houston shots are for Sean." Meh. There's 2 of them. Why does he get both? Meh. The signed Psycho Clowns for Oscar winner Chris. Little smiley face. It's very nice of you to refer to me. And you can split the disc. We'll cover that once we get into it. P.S. Can you help me find a movie I saw as a kid? I remember it was about a killer skeleton come to life, and when exposed to water, skin would regrow. It might be from the 50s, I think. Rock on. Well, thank you, dude. And that movie is called The Creeping Flesh, with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. It's called The Creeping Flesh. Yeah, he sent us this stuff. So there you go.
Thank you, Carlos. And what we decided to do is I didn't feel like I needed 2 Angelica Houston signed photos. So I thought I would give one of those to Chris.
He was being very generous.
I was being very generous. I honestly don't know the reference. If there's a reason you sent 2 Angelica Houston Ice Pirates pictures, I've never, to my knowledge, mentioned either. But I'm grateful either way. It's really cool. Yeah. And she's a great actress.
Cool. Got my clown prints, all these prints he sent, which is very cool.
And those. On the record here, the 7-inch sealed, like story time record.
7-inch.
We flipped for it, and I won.
Sean won.
Yep. So thank you, Carlos. We really appreciate it. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. We got a letter here from Mike Johnson.
Yep.
The runner.
Yeah, gold medal just keeps on giving.
The letter is, Sean and Christopher, you dirty animals, you filthy beasts. I don't know where that's coming from.
Why my hygiene needs to be brought into this.
I don't know. Filthy beasts. What did we ever? Okay. Thanks for helping the fans with our weekly podcast therapy. The James Jew Courtney interview was awesome. As usual, I enjoy the witty banter, inside jokes, stories, and tidbits on all things horror. This is the best podcast of 2020. Wow.
I mean, he ain't far off.
No. There's been a lot of talk about getting free stuff. I have a donation for Christopher Nelson. Let the healing begin. I got a donation. Enclosed, you will find from my collection the Mondo Vision limited edition box set of the 1981 film Possession. There it is. Look at that.
That is cool. I looked. Remember, I told you I thought I had it.
Yeah, you don't have it?
I do. I just have a different edition.
Okay.
I have this one. Mine's like a slipcase one.
Right.
Yours is like a cool box one.
This is the Super Mondo. Look at this shit. It opens up. It got a couple openings and it's got a book in there.
Yeah, I think maybe we might have this. It might be the same disc because this is also from Mondo. You just got like the more buff packaging.
Right.
So what we're going to do, neither of us have seen this movie. I bought this on a recommendation from a friend, but I never got around to watching it. So now we are both going to watch it.
And we will give you our review.
Yeah.
of
If
that.
you're easily
And
offended by boobies, I apologize
that's
that
right.
there are nipples visible in this artwork. All right.
He says, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. Art House meets Grindhouse, and one of my favorites. It was also banned and named on the UK Video Nasties list. Carlo Rambaldi did the special effects on the creature in the film, and then designed E.T. the Extraterrestrial the following year. You just left.
No, I was listening to you. My dog was in the bed behind me, and she was trying to scratch the spot to get the perfect. It was just.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I'm like, I can't listen to this anymore.
You're like, Chris is talking. I have to go.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy, Christopher. I also want to thank you for your art and contributions. You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Can you please share a cool story about being on the set of Kill Bill sometime? Stay wicked. Mike Johnson, the runner, a.k.a. Grindhouse Mike, Salt Lake City, Utah. Thanks, Mike. You're the man. We really appreciate that. And yes, I will share many stories about Kill Bill in the future, near future.
Want to just give one quick one?
I have shit tons of them.
One quick one for him. Throw him a bone.
One quick one.
Got you a really cool box set.
Paul Thomas Anderson, the director of Boogie Nights and Hard Eight and Magnolia and There Will Be Blood. You know, Paul Thomas Anderson at the time was a friend of Quentin Tarantino, so he came to China. We were shooting part of Kill Bill in part 1 in China.
I know China very well. China.
Beijing, to be exact. And when I was there for about 5 months. And Paul Thomas Anderson came for about a week to visit Quentin and hang out on set and watch and hang out with the crew. And we all got along well. And he would hang out a lot up in the K&B room because I was working for K&B Effects Group. We had our own room with all our effects and stuff ready to rig and stuff. And I had a couch in there and everything, kind of a lounge area. It was the cool lounge area of the movie, and a lot of shenanigans. Some things I can't reveal, other things I could, but I'm not going to. But we hung out and it was super cool. And we went to the Great Wall of China.
Okay.
Went to dinners and tromped around.
China?
Beijing, and it was great. So it was really cool to hang out with Paul Thomas Anderson and get his personality and what makes him such an artistic, cool guy. I could get into more details, but it might incriminate people, and I don't want to do that. I'll give you one more tidbit. The eyeball that Uma Thurman steps on, that she pulls out of Daryl Hannah's face in the trailer when they have that big giant trailer fight, the eyeball that she throws on the ground and steps on it and it's squished, that eyeball was made about on the same day, about an hour before we actually shot it, because we decided that it wanted to squish between her toes. And so I made it in the trailer with cellophane, cake icing, red yarn, and super glue. Boom. So there you go. So there's a little tidbit. Wow. That's all I got.
Well, let's get to the questions.
Let's do it.
We got a lot. Gabe Ya06 says, y'all should do an episode with Tyler Main. I've watched many interviews and panels with him. He's always entertaining and funny. Tyler is a great guy. I like Tyler quite a bit. If he sees our ranking episodes, he may not be interested in being a guest on the show. But you know, hey, but no, Tyler's a good guy, and I would love to have him on. He's done a lot of good work, and I liked what he did in Rob's films as far as
I do too.
As far as what he did as mine.
Yeah,
we have a long list of people we're bringing on. I mean, there's no shortage of guest ideas. I can tell you.
Yeah, it's backed up actually. There's a lot of stuff we have lined up for you guys. A lot of stuff and a lot of cool stuff and a lot of cool guests. So hang in there. We'll get to it.
Live free or die.
He's back. Live free or die. A lot of these names of these people, their little names on their thing, they're all. When I watch the episodes, I think that they sound like metal songs.
Yeah.
Like every one of them, it's like a Judas Priest metal song. And this one is Live Free or Die. Or that's more like a Dawkins song. I don't know. How would you interpret it?
I don't know.
All right. Good talk.
He said it's time for some merchandise. I would love a t-shirt and some stickers to support my favorite show. Well, that's it was funny is Chris and I think we were supposed to talk about that last night. We forgot to, but we do need to figure that out. I mean, what would you guys like to see? Do Would you guys like to see the logo that's at the beginning of our show on a shirt or sticker? Would you like to see something a little more creative? Give us some ideas. Let us know what you want. Do you guys want pins, like cool, like enamel pins, condoms with our faces on them? You just let us know what you want.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah, my
Whoa.
bad idea. Just condom with my face on it. All
I
right.
don't need-
Awoken nightmare. Awoken nightmare. I'm just gonna cruise.
Awoken nightmare.
When
See?
you're waking from a nightmare. All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this works.
No, see, both those could be Dawkins songs. Awoken nightmare.
Yeah, see?
Sean and Chris, I love the podcast. Who is the one living celebrity you most want to meet but have not yet had the chance? And who is the one deceased celebrity you most regret not getting a chance to meet?
I got that right out of the gate.
Okay.
I got that. Living celebrity I've never met and I've always wanted to meet, Gene Hackman.
Okay.
Gene
Wow.
Hackman.
Better get on that.
I'm a huge Gene Hackman fan. Deceased celebrity I wish I could have met, John Casella.
Who's that?
You know who that is?
No.
He did 4 movies. There's a documentary about him. He plays Fredo in, in Godfather movies.
He broke my heart.
That guy is an amazing actor.
Wasn't he in Dog Day Afternoon?
He was in Dog Day Afternoon. He
Yeah.
did 4 movies, and all of the movies are classics.
What are the other two?
Godfather, Godfather 2, Dog Day Afternoon, and The Conversation. And all amazing movies, all classic, iconic films. And he was an amazing actor. And there's a documentary about him. I highly recommend it. It's really, really, even if you're not really familiar with him, you will be. You'll know him. You'll know his face when you Google him right now. I wish I could have met that guy. That's where my head went.
I can't narrow it down to one. I can rattle off a few. As far as living, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Harrison Ford, Dan Marino, Gary Payton.
Right.
Last 2 are sports guys. My favorite football player, favorite basketball player. Deceased, Donald Pleasance. Would have loved to have met Donald Pleasance. Stanley Kubrick. Those 2 pop in my head immediately as people I would have loved to have the chance to meet. I know there's tons more, but this is,
Oh, me too. Yeah, the
right
list
off the top of my head.
The list is long. Could go on and on. Gordon Jump.
Met him.
Did you meet Gordon Jump?
I have a Gordon Jump story.
I was joking. Fuck off. I always throw Gordon Jump out because I love the name.
You said Gordon Jump in an earlier episode, and I didn't catch it until I was editing it. And I was like, oh, shit, I could have told my Gordon Jump story. Well, now I get to tell it.
Oh, awesome.
Literally walking distance from my house is 31 Flavors, Baskin Robbins. This is probably 20 years ago, maybe a little less. I walk into Baskin Robbins, and there's Gordon Jump buying an ice cream.
No shit.
Yeah. And I was like, and I knew his name. I was like, Gordon Jump. And which I think he was not used to people knowing his name. It was like, oh, you're the guy from WKRP or,
Yeah.
And he's such a nice guy. Obviously long before cell phone cameras. So I just had a few.
So Gordon Jump was hanging out in the OC? I
don't know if he lived here.
That's great. That's really wild. I know all those guys' names. That's one thing I don't know a lot of people. Like now, if you go, the actor I wouldn't know who it is. I know Gordon Jump, Nipsey Russell, fucking Jimmy J.J. Walker, Flip Wilson, all these like weird like actors from the 70s and 80s that I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
Steve Wade. Sean and Chris, just want to say I really enjoy this podcast and want to thank you both providing this awesome content to the fans. Question for Sean. Do you own the Nightmare on Elm Street board game that was released in 1989? I stumbled upon one in an antique store years ago and never knew it existed. It's pretty much a knockoff of the game Clue, but it's still pretty cool to own. I actually used to own it. I think I got it when I worked at Spencer's, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't have it anymore. But I used to have it. Let's see. Chris, I recently discovered that you worked on Warlock, the Armageddon. So cool. Those effects blew my mind as a young teenager because I remember them being pretty graphic. What was that experience like? Also, tell us about your Telecaster and Marshall setup. You both should do an episode on your musical gear. Thanks again for everything you do in the horror community. Stay safe, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve Wade.
Thanks, Steve. That's all right.
Fuck off, Wade. Anyway, had to throw off.
that was around the time, that had to be what, the early 90s? And that was around the time when I had just done, I think, Return of the Living Dead 3 and Dark Tide, all these lower budget horror movies that I did back in the early 90s. And that one was Anthony Hickox directed it, I believe. I got called in to do reshoots for it, to build a bunch of effects that I guess they either didn't have time to do it or they didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. So they did reshoots. And I went to a soundstage and did a bunch of gags of like the Warlock melting and, you know, all this stuff. So it was quick, down and dirty, in and out. A bunch of gags that I did for that. That was my involvement in Warlock 2, The Armageddon. I don't think I've ever seen the movie, actually. There it is.
You can get the Warlock trilogy from Vestron.
What year did that come out?
93.
Yeah, same year or two I did all those other movies. And so, yeah, that was my involvement in Warlock 2. As for my gear, yeah, I got a Marshall half stack over here. My Telecaster is a Fender, it's a Joe Strummer signature model. He came out with his own thing before he died. I was a huge Clash fan and a huge Joe Strummer fan. Not only his music with the Clash and solo and with the Mescaleros, but just as a person and his conviction of life and rebellion and everything. I really learned a lot from Joe Strummer when I was young. So
you ever meet him?
I never met him. There's one I wish. Joe Strummer. God, I would have loved to. So yeah, that's my Joe Strummer Telecaster. I'm not a big fan of Telecasters or Fenders, but this thing sounds amazing. This Telecaster. I'm more of a Gibson guy, Les Paul, SGs, things like that. So, but yeah, that's my gear.
I have a Telecaster right there, and I have a Les Paul right there. So anyway, Lee Griffith says, "Hey, Bo."
Lee.
His name is Lee Griffiths.
I like how everyone is Dream Warriors, but just
yeah,
we're gonna do that.
When you have been on a paranormal walk through a property, what's the most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to you? Great show is all.
Only paranormal, quote unquote, paranormal walk thing I've ever done was in New Orleans when I was working on one of the seasons of Horror Story. It was my birthday, and my good friends Aaron Kruger and Mike McCash, for my birthday, took me on a haunted tour, like a haunted thing. And what's great about New Orleans is that you can drink the entire time. What you did was you went to a bar, got drinks, drank, started the tour, and during the tour you would stop in and get booze. And in New Orleans they have those the frosty kind of slurpy booze. Mm-hmm. It's like a Slurpee, but there's booze in it. And so I got completely obliterated. But yeah, I went to a haunted tour in New Orleans, which was horrifying and fascinating. But nothing weird happened other than me probably falling down and pissing myself. You?
I've done a couple, never saw anything. However, I did do one in the Stanley Hotel and then stayed in the Stanley Hotel, and something unexplained did happen in my room. And
I have so many jokes for that. It's unbelievable. Something unexplained happened in my room. Sorry,
really?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Bro, I was in bed, my ex-wife at the time, we were both in bed, and all of a sudden, this flash of light happened. I mean, dude, somebody had a big flash pot. The only place it could have come from was the window, right? So I look out the window, but we were on the 3rd floor, and there was nothing around. And it's just weird, unexplained, I mean, it was intense, and we both saw it. So who knows? Next is Wade Dillon. Fuck off, Wade.
Wade Dillon.
What's up with all these Wades?
I don't know.
Wade Dillon. Sean, Chris, loving the podcast. Great surprise seeing part 2 of JJC after coming home from work. 1 to 2 hours is a perfect duration, as I have been enjoying y'all's get off my lawn moments. Sean, I have a question for you. Considering you represent actors at horror and comic conventions, what is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to fan interaction? Oh boy, here we go. Here's a get off my lawn. I've seen some awkward shit go down myself. Keep it up, guys. Okay. I could do a whole episode on shit that happens at conventions and awkward fans and pet peeves. And You know, the thing that pisses me off probably the most are these people that come up to the table and just don't listen to you at all. And it happens the most when you get into the criteria of working with a bigger celebrity like, say, Norman Reedus. These people that come up to Norman's table, the way we have it situated is they have to come to me first. I'm the guy taking the money and figuring out what it is they want. Then they have to go to the next person who's going to make sure that they're getting what they just paid for, and they're the one that's going to try to keep it moving along as well, because some people can be long-winded. And mind you, the people who are the biggest pain in the asses, hands down, are the ones that don't buy anything. And I think it's because they feel like they ain't got nothing to lose. If you're walking up with something like, oh, I want to get this autographed, that's like, okay, blah blah blah, here, you go down, you go over, they go in front of Norman or whomever, and they're like, oh yeah, who's this made out to? And they're having some small talk, and it's signed, and when it's handed back, it's kind of like, okay, this is over, and you've had your moment. Well, when you're not getting anything signed, you're just like, and I'll tell you right now, the one thing a celebrity at a convention does not want to hear, the first thing, the phrase they don't want to hear was, oh, I just want to say hi. Because guess what? They never fucking just want to say hi.
Right.
Because they'll come up to me and I'll be like, what can I get you? Oh, I just want to say hi. Okay, you can say hi.
So you can get in a line without buying something? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, well, people come up to you at conventions and just talk to you and don't buy something,
Right, but I mean, I don't get fucking lines. Like if you're Norman Reedus, you're going to get in a line and wait just to go, how's it going?
This is something you have to understand. A lot of people put this off on me, the agent, or the celebrity.
Mm-hmm,
A lot of these guests have guarantees. And that means that the celebrity has agreed to come do this event for a set amount. Like they're basically guaranteeing you're going to make X amount. If that person doesn't make X amount, the promoter then comes out of pocket and pays the difference. So the promoter wants to make sure that they're going to hit that number. Otherwise, it's going to come out of their pocket. So a lot of times the promoter will say, only people that are allowed in line is if you're buying something. That happens, but that's not my call. That's a promoter's call. Right. My job is to get Norman there, take care of him, or whomever the client is that day. Take care of them and make sure that process goes smoothly. However things are done with tickets being sold and line control and all that shit, that's nothing to do with me. So sometimes that does happen, but most of the time you can go up and say hi. And those people will come up to me and be like, yeah, can I get you something? Oh, I just want to say hi. Okay, well, you can go over and you can say hi. And they'll go, hey man, so what was it like working with blah, blah, blah? And they'd be like, oh, it's cool. Yeah. And then, and like,
yeah, it's like that Chris Farley skit that they used to do on Saturday Night Live. It's like,
yeah, totally. And they'll just keep talking, and they'll just keep talking until we have to step in and go, okay, we got a huge line here. We got to move it. And of course it sucks for the people that are in line that are going to pay. They're having to wait for this person to, and then, what always fucking happens that drives me insane? Then they'll be like, okay, all right, can we get a quick selfie?
Right.
And it's like, and we've already said numerous times, there's no photos, for like Norman, for example, his lines are so long, we can't do selfies. We only do the pro photo ops.
Right.
And they've been told, they've seen the signs, they've been told, but then they try to, they try to guilt the celebrity into doing it.
Right.
I've seen every trick in the book. I've seen every fucking trick in the book.
Get off my lawn.
Film Effect Ed said, how goes it? Hope all is well. I love this show and look forward to it every Wednesday. It really helps with personal stuff going on. I anticipate at least getting an hour and a half to hang out with my friends. That being said, I wanted to ask Sean if he remembers a horror convention in Gettysburg, PA called Horror Find. Was wondering whatever happened to them. They quietly just stopped years ago. I also wanted to ask Stanley Uris if he had any ghost ship stories. Who's Stanley Uris?
I don't know. I worked on Ghost Ship. Is he referring to me?
Maybe, yeah. But then he says, I know Scream Factory's doing a collector edition Blu-ray for it. You should get Christopher on there. Horror Find, yeah, I used to go to Horror Find. Long story short, the last show that he had, the promoter's name was Mike, was really bad. and I hear he lost a lot of money. He didn't pay guarantees to some clients that needed that should have been paid. He also didn't pay the hotel bill, and myself and some of my clients got phone calls from the hotel trying to get us to give us credit card information to pay for the rooms that he was supposed to pay for. Then he disappeared, and just the show was over. And then I heard he passed away.
Wow.
I don't know if, I want to say maybe he took his own life or something.
Jesus.
You know, the crazy thing was it was a top tier show that just suddenly went south. I think the guy was having all kinds of personal issues that were colliding with just a bad show. And anyway, yeah, sad.
Jesus.
Anyway, Ghost Ship.
The only thing I had to do with Ghost Ship, I guess it was a lot, was I went down there with Howard Berger to Australia. We shot that, I believe, up at a studio in the Gold Coast, and had a great time. It was a tough show. It took quite a while. We did the whole scene in the very beginning of the movie where everyone's dancing and this cable wire, shoots through across the entire dance floor and cuts a bunch of people in half and heads off and stuff. So Howard Berger and I did that by ourselves, just two of us. All those gags and bodies and things. We went down there with a plethora of just generic bodies that we rigged with blood gags and magnets and wardrobe, and sliced this and did that and shot it all. And it was a hard shoot, but super fun.
Yeah, I just revisited that not too long ago, and I remember thinking that scene was so badass until I rewatched it.
Yeah, right.
How bad the CGI is.
Yeah,
The CGI ruins everything you guys did. I mean, really.
Yeah, we did a shit ton of practical stuff for that. It looked good too because I was there. I mean, I'll be the first guy to tell you if a gag doesn't work. I'll be the first guy to go, yeah, they covered that up because it didn't work and it looked like shit. But we did a lot of really cool stuff for that. And for whatever reason, I think also at that time in movies, that was around the time where stuff started, the CGI started trying to take over. Or they thought that CGI did look better than practical stuff. The filmmakers did, even though it didn't. I think there wasn't a keen eye yet that had been developed with the combination of CG and practical. Not yet. It was early stages of all that stuff. So I think that's why they did that.
Danny Donata said,
Danny Donata!
Oh! People should be thankful for this show as it breaks up the monotony of 2020. Cheers, fellas.
Thanks, Danny.
Oh! What does the pop say? Says,
what does the pop say? That sounds like an 80s
what
new
does
wave.
the pop say? No.
I went 80s new wave.
You went
what does the pop say?
What does
the pop say?
My dad.
All right, go ahead.
Really wish I could have met the three of you in Orlando next month. He's talking about it, that Phantasm we were supposed to.
Oh, right. We were supposed
Hopefully
to do
next year. Hopefully you'll meet us next year. We hope. But this sort of kind of makes up for it. Also, glad to hear when either Crypticon KC or Crypticon Minnesota gets mentioned. Sad to hear Shout Factory hasn't responded to you about being guests. Would Brad Dourif or Eric Freeman be possible as future guests? Keep up the amazing work and love for this show.
Thanks, Pop.
Thank you. Brad Dourif is an odd dude. I highly doubt we could get him on. I mean, you never know, but he's a character. Eric Freeman, I kind of know, and I'm good buddies with his manager, so that's a possibility. Do you know who Eric Freeman is, Chris?
Nope.
He was the Garbage Day in Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. He was the killer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be funny. TCE author says, hey, Sean and Christopher, I will look forward to these episodes every week. Perfect way to end a long work day after the wife and kids go to bed. Love hanging out with you guys and reminds me of the better days with old friends long gone. On the subject of Halloween 2018, I didn't mind this Sartain development, but I agree it felt like it came out of nowhere and left just as quickly. Hearing Christopher talk about the bits of that subplot that were cut, I'm very interested to see that now and wonder if it changed my mind on the storyline. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to do these shows. I know editing is a painstaking process, so special kudos to Sean for putting up with all of that and keeping our horror spirits lifted in these trying times. And finally, Quick fanboy question to both. What's your favorite non-franchise slasher movie? Meaning Halloween, Friday, Nightmare, Chainsaw, etc. are all off the table. Well, thank you for
Wow.
the kind words. Do you think that if he got to see that subplot, it would really change his opinion much?
Yeah, I do. I think it would change a little bit. There was a little more extra stuff that gave it a little. The stuff sprinkled throughout the movie that would have given that a little more context and stuff. But I don't think it'll ever end up. I don't think you'll ever end up seeing that. I don't know, but I could be wrong because we're still seeing new versions of other Halloween movies to this day. So you never know. Non-franchise slasher.
I have one.
I was gonna say Psycho, but that's a franchise.
It is a franchise.
What's yours?
Terror Train.
Oh,
I have a real soft spot for Terror Train. It happened at a perfect time in my life. I was 10 years old.
mm-hmm.
I saw it at a theater in Vegas. I was visiting a friend that had moved to Vegas, and it just scared the shit out of me. And to this day, I still love the concept of him changing costumes at a costume party. And they were all cool masks. And I just love that movie.
That's cool. I would say mine would be Maniac. I consider that a slasher movie.
Yeah, no, it is, for sure.
That movie, when I saw it, it was so gritty and cool and dark and weird and nightmarish. And I love that movie.
What was it about Elijah Wood's performance?
Oh, shit.
I'm just kidding. Joe Spinell, I know.
I did not like the remake.
You know what? I
didn't sit through it, but
I liked it.
wasn't in it. Really?
I did, but as a completely different movie. It didn't seem like it was trying to be the same movie at all.
Oh, they shouldn't have called it Maniac. They should have called it something else. But I think it would have been better. But the original Maniac, I think, is probably my favorite non-franchise slasher.
Dandy Deal said, "Hey guys, I just wanted to express."
Dandy Deal. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Going to be here all day.
I know.
As you try to sing everybody's names.
I know. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I just wanted to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation for the show. I am an artist myself, and there are times when life puts a stop to being creative with my work and my personal life. But your show, your approach to fans, and your love for horror movies break that non-creative wall and allows me to relax and feel more like myself again. Thank you, Sean and Chris, so much for your dedication to the show, your love of movies, and your greatness. You guys are the best. Thank you so much, James. You're welcome.
Thanks, James. You're welcome. Yeah, man. That's why we do it.
Those are the kind of comments we like.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
That was super nice.
Boogeyman Ben's back.
Boogeyman.
He's the Boogeyman Ben. He's coming round the bend. Boogeyman Ben.
Yeah.
Boogeyman Ben. All right.
And he's a Boogeyman Ben.
So that should be like a Nick Cave song or
total
something.
Nick Cave song. Yeah.
Thank you all so much. JJC really seems down to earth. Nice hearing him speak about his experiences, especially that he was a tour guide at Universal Studios. I have a YouTube channel, and I will make sure to give this podcast a shout out in my upcoming video. I would love to do what I can to help get the word out so that the show gets more views and subscriptions. This show really has become the bright spot in my week, and I thank you both for all your work you put into it. Best always, and thanks for being awesome. Well, thank you, Boogeyman Ben.
Thanks, Ben. That's really nice of you to do that shout. I appreciate it.
Chris LP02. Not going to try to sing that one. Chris and Sean, love the podcast. Thank you for bringing it to the fans with no agenda, just good times. I have a few questions. Have you ever considered doing the show at the same house together? Well, that was originally the original plan.
Yeah.
But you know what? Now that we've kind of gotten used to doing it like this, I think this is easier.
I agree. Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't mean we can't. I mean, we actually did shoot a little episode, a little kind of different outside of the norm episode where we were in the same place last night. So if you saw the thing of us at the Sugarmint Gallery, so we were in the same place. I would love to see Daniel Harris and Scout Taylor Compton on the show sometime. Thank you, Chris, Seattle, Washington. Yeah, I mean, Danielle's a good friend. We could definitely have her on. Scout, I also know that's a possibility as well. Christina McPhail says, love the show, guys. It was so cool to hear Chris talk about Sorcerer because it's one of my favorites, but none of my friends have ever seen it. I tried to get them to watch it, but they somehow are impervious to the charms of Roy Scheider. how the fuck? That's what I'm reading. She said, how the listening to you two makes me feel a little less alone during these craziness, almost like I'm hanging out with friends or eavesdropping on much cooler people who I would desperately want to be friends with. I'm currently writing a story about a special effects makeup artist, so getting little glimpses into that world is such a treat. I would love to be able to pick your brain so I could write an accurate portrayal because I really respect the work you do. Well, you know, Chris does makeup too. And I'm funny, you know.
See what you did there?
Yeah.
See what you did there?
I think you're magic. She's talking about you, Chris. You're magic.
Got to believe I am magic. See what I did there?
Oh, Chris is magic.
Oh, I'm magic.
Unfortunately, much like the DMV or the airport, Google is a lawless wasteland and it's hard to find reliable information. Sorry for this novel of a comment. I'm a verbose motherfucker. Thank you both. Well, first off, I think we're both just in shock we have a female listener.
I know. Exactly. It's like, is that a girl? Let her in the clubhouse. Let her open the door.
I was more like, who let the girl in here?
She doesn't need a secret knock. Let her in.
There's only room for one lesbian. That's me.
There's a girl that likes us. Wow.
So I don't know. She didn't really seem to have a question, but more like she likes listening to you talk about the makeup stuff because it's giving her a little more insight into what she's trying to do.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. That's nice. Well, I'll try to give you more. I don't know what you're looking for.
Well, I think she got some earlier today. Fucking cellophane and cake, fucking frosting. You just kind of gave a little how you did an eyeball.
I did.
I'll never watch that scene the same now.
I don't think anybody will, but yeah, it's that's really nice of you. Thank you. I'm still numb that there's a girl in the room. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's like when you're I know it's like when you're young and you're first talking to a girl and you're like, I brought a jacket because it's cold. They just stare at you, that weird awkward thing.
No, kids nowadays won't understand what that is.
No, they won't,
because they just, it's all done here. It's like, swipe, like, poke, blah blah blah. And
I guess you're right.
Likes me done. We should sex. Not like back in the day where you had to actually have nuts to walk up to someone and go.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And stalk them enough to know if you have anything in common.
Actually be able to develop social skills.
Exactly. Right. Now it's just you swipe left and you're at a rainbow party in a closet.
Exactly. Back in our day, to get to one of those, what we had to go through?
A lot.
Peaky bastard.
The Peaky Bastard.
Peaky Bastard Gaming, actually. Peaky Bastard Gaming.
Peaky Bastard. Peaky Bastard. Yeah.
Question for you, Chris.
Yeah,
I'm talking like that. And it's related to his framed masks behind him. I guess domed. I'm useless when it comes to searching online for one, as I can never put the right description in the search. What are they actually called, as I plan to display a few bits myself, but can't find shit? LOL, your help will be appreciated, mate. Love you both. And I always look forward to each episode. Hello from the UK. And by the way, and Sean, I miss you, man. Peaky Bastard. Wow. I would say, I don't know who you are, but we probably met. We probably met at a convention in the UK, I'm assuming. During editing this, I figured it out. It's my good buddy, Luke Morris. Miss you too, pal. So is he asking where you get your domes? Maybe?
I think these, my domes.
Mystic Museum, right? Wouldn't it?
I get these from the Mystic Museum in Burbank, California. I think they're, the official name for them, I'd have to look it up, but I think they're like display domes. I think they're used for like taxidermy and like, for display of that kind of stuff. But I think they're just called like display domes or something like that. I think. Yeah.
If you search on doll collecting websites, a lot of them are used for putting like dolls in, and you can also get custom cases made. I know Tom Spina Designs. He makes custom cases for displays. You can look him up, Google him, his company. I think it's just under Tom Spina Designs, but he runs Regal Robot, which does all that Star Wars stuff. He's a good friend. He's a good guy. The Ever Scathed. Now that sounds like an emo band. The Ever Scathed.
Yeah.
Since we're talking music. Great show, guys. I've been a fan of Sean since the very first Horrors Holograms episode, and I've gone as far as to purchase another copy of a movie I already owned just to get one with a new HHG on it.
Boom.
Gee, are you hearing that, Scream Factory? People rebuying shit just because my shit's on it. Just saying.
More like Lame Factory. No, I'm just kidding. No.
We'll cut
that out.
You're never getting anything from them.
we'll cut that out.
That's how I'm going to open the show. Let's see. I didn't realize I was such a big fan of Chris Nelson's until this podcast started up. I'll admit it. After the first episode, I went to IMDb and checked Chris out, and my jaw hit the floor. He's made so many of my favorite movie memories come to life over the years. Well, now I know, and a wrong has been righted thanks to your show. The chemistry of you two guys together is fantastic. Cheers and keep up the good work. I now have something to look forward to every Wednesday. W. Frickenstein, the ever-scathed Chicago.
Little Chi-Town. Little Chi-Town.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bernie Maddow says, really awesome vid. Thank you, Sean and Christopher and James. Appreciate you guys. OMG. Now all I'm seeing when I look at Sean is a middle-aged lesbian. LOL. Okay.
I know what I see all the time.
For the record, I am middle-aged. I am a lesbian. So, I mean.
So, nailed it.
Nailed it.
So, winning.
Chris Snyder, thank you guys so much for having a little fun with my comment. It made my day. Keep up your awesome work. I have a question for you both. What was your dream job when you were growing up? Now, I don't remember his specific comment. I probably should have looked into that. But we always have fun with everybody's comments. So,
yes, of course.
Dream job growing up. I mean, did you get it? I mean, you were.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm one of the very few lucky people in the world that I'm doing my dream job. Worked hard to get my dream job. It didn't just fall in my lap, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm doing my dream. The only other job I would love to be a musician, like a professional musician. That's my only other thing I would say.
Well, that was my dream job, was being a musician. And that's what I worked at from the late 80s to the early 2000s. And then I realized that the rock star dream was probably not going to happen. So I kept pursuing things I loved, which was the horror genre, and here I am. So I do.
Your job's pretty dreamy.
No, I do consider this a dream job, but was this what I was going for as a kid? No, that wasn't. But I'm very happy. Eric Eltringham said, I have a question for you and Christopher. What cars do you drive, and what is your dream car?
Eric, it's a strange question.
Do you want to say what you drive, or is that?
No, I don't really want to say what I drive. I drive a black SUV.
And I drive a white SUV.
So there you go. My dream car? Honestly, there's 3 that come to mind. Starsky and Hutch car, the Mach 5 from Speed Racer, the cartoon Speed Racer, or the Batmobile, the 60s Batmobile. Those are my dream cars.
For me, I would say the van from the 70s film, The Van.
Oh, okay.
I would love.
Oh, or Christine. That just reminded me, like the Christine car. That's a dream car. Anyway,
I would love to have a tricked out 70s van with like a fucking bed and a fridge and the shack.
With the little bubble window and the Viking painted on the side, like the Frazetta Viking painting.
Full Frazetta Viking style heavy metal on the side, you know. I would love to have something like that, and I've almost bought one before. Other than that, maybe like the Hemi Cuda from Phantasm. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Ooh, the list is endless.
Frank Riker says, Chris and Sean, would you rather go back in time to see the start of your family line or go to witness the day of your death?
Jesus.
A really fucking weird, dark question.
Dude.
I'd really rather see neither. I really don't.
I don't want to see either of them.
I don't really have any desire to know either.
No. It's hard enough to live in the present. I don't want to think about that shit.
Especially if you go to see the day you die and it's in like a week. You know?
Right. Yeah. Or how you die.
Yeah. Then you just
like
on it and runs your last week.
Right. You have a stroke while taking a shit on the toilet, and they find you You pull an Elvis.
Mixie Horror and Pop Culture says, another great episode, Sean. I spy a new addition added to the channel, a Telco Frankenstein monster. Pretty rad. Right there. Halloween Daily News says, thanks for the shout out and kind words, guys. Well, where's our shout out, Matt? Come on, bro. Let's see an article on Halloween Daily News. Have you checked out the hottest new podcast?
That's right.
And
I'm a fan of the Halloween
that,
Daily News. I'm always plugging your website and your news and your Halloween Daily News. I love the Halloween Daily News.
This is where we guilt him into doing it.
I mean, I'm always plugging you, Matt.
Yeah, bro. We're there for you, bro.
We're there for you, man.
You fall down. We have a hand held out.
We're picking you up.
Yeah.
I'm picking you up.
Yeah.
I'm pulling your pants back up.
Yeah. I'm
dusting you off. I'm putting you out there, getting you back in the game. I'm helping you walk it off.
All right, that doesn't do it. 410 Goodfella says, that's a great looking mask, Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Christopher Nelson mummy mask called a mammy. I can't wait. Mammy. I can't wait to see the Halloween rankings, as it is my favorite horror franchise. So he's looking forward to this episode. Just as soon as we're done babbling, you're going to find out our numbers. I wonder how many people are just going to skip ahead because they can't.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. I'm sure everyone's tired of us talking.
Kelsey Solom says,
hi, Kelsey.
How exciting it was to be name dropped by you guys in this episode. I thought of a question for Chris. With special effects makeup and mask making, is it feasible to make masks at home, or do you have to have an actual studio set up to do so? Also, what are your go-to makeup brands for special effects makeup?
Yeah, it's totally feasible to make masks at home. I make masks at home. I make masks at home all the time. If you have a garage or a room that you can do crafts and things in, or even a back patio or a front patio or something, because some of it gets messy, you can do it anywhere, man. You make do with what you got. So yeah, you can make masks. All you need is, a bust there, a life cast or a bust, a head form to sculpt on, even a half head form. There you can actually buy them now. Not too long ago, actually, you had to do life casts and have a form done. Now you can go online and buy mask forms that are specifically made for you to sculpt masks on. You can order them. Shows up at your house. You get that clay. Get monster clay or some Roma. I prefer Roma clay or Chavant clay. Get some sculpting tools at your local art supply store, which they're all over the place, and start sculpting, man. And then get yourself some hydrocal for your mold. And yeah, you can do it at home. I do it at home all the time. A lot of people do it at home. So yeah, get your stuff and get going, man. Don't get discouraged by that kind of stuff. Just do it. And as far as brands, there's tons of stuff. Smooth On has a lot of great brands, products. Skin Illustrator has a lot of great products. Yeah, there's tons of stuff out there. I would suggest going to a lot of these brands and a lot of the stuff we use. You can go to Motion Picture Effects website. It's a place here in Burbank that sells makeup effects supplies. Berman Industries sells supplies. There's a lot of places. So there you go. And there's a trick or treater.
Brandon Hendricks says, great show as always. Not just because you read all three of my questions, comments. Haha. I feel bad I've neglected Chris because he's a cool cat and the show ain't the show without him. So I'll shoot a question his way. So this is a pity question, provided he hasn't been asked it yet. Other than the first, second doesn't count since it's the same mask as the first. What is his favorite shape mask and least favorite shape mask in the series? I don't think you really need to answer this because I believe you pretty much answer it in our ranking episodes.
I do. I think we cover it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty well covered in which ones you do and don't like.
Mm-hmm.
We talk. Yeah, so just.
I will say my least favorite is the digital mask. Okay, if that counts. That's my least favorite is the digital mask. I don't know why you would even do that, but
yeah.
But the best one is 2018. No, I'm kidding. It's of course. Oh, he means other than the original. We already talked about this.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Do we talk about this? We talk about this.
I don't think we said which one was the best other than 1 and 2.
Other than 1 and 2, I like mine.
Yeah, I mean, my pick would be yours, but
I mean, can I do that? I'm allowed to do that, right?
I don't think that's what he wants to hear. I think he wants to hear outside of yours as well, but it's okay.
I'd say the H2O one,
The
maybe.
Winston.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
A Tower 19 says, I'm also low-key terrified for the next episode since one of my favorite Halloween films is, in fact, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The uncut version, since I've never seen the theatrical cut. As a fan of it, though, I like to think I have a somewhat thick skin since no one really likes it but a few of us. Yeah, toughen that skin up and watch this episode.
Yeah, watch you'll get your answer. But hey, man, stick to your guns. Like what you like. Don't take any shit from anybody.
Yeah, I mean, hey, one of my dogs eats its own poop and seems to really like it. So
that's right.
We can't judge anybody.
That's right.
People like what they like.
They do, and there are movies that make literally billions of dollars that are giant pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? When people ask me if I like it and I go, that's a piece of shit movie, and they go, yeah, but it made $5 billion. I go, yeah, but 5 million flies also like a pile of shit. So.
Yeah. How much money did the Twilight franchise make? Exactly.
Yeah.
Louis Lazaro says, it's refreshing to get the opportunity to hang with two established gents in the horror community.
Oh.
Keep up the excellent work. Being that Chris is such a talented artist, and has he ever thought of sculpting his line of custom 6-scale horror figures from his favorite movies? And then he said, would Sean consider becoming a collector of these 12-inch figures representing some of his favorite iconic horror characters? There is a huge market / following for these. The artist in question would also benefit from making bang bucks, as many of us horror nerds are willing to pay serious money to obtain these. Much cheers and praise from El Paso, Texas. I mean, yeah, there's a whole sort of underground bootleg figure market. You know, I know that One Customs does a lot of really cool stuff. Is that something you ever thought about doing, or?
I actually have an idea currently that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a custom figure. It's not figures, but it's a merchandisable idea. That's something that I'm looking into. Once you start getting into production and mass production and licensing and packaging and rights and who gets what, that alone, mass producing something takes a lot of manpower and a lot of time and a lot of quality control. So that's something that you kind of really have to, if you're going to do that, you have to set up a company, you have to set up a facility, you have to set up time. That's a whole different beast. I could see if you're doing 1 or 2 or 3 or even 10 like offs, just custom things, but getting into merchandising doesn't interest me. Trick or Treat Studios can do that because they have a facility, they have a thing in place. They have a factory in place to churn out that stuff. So doing it from scratch, I don't know if that interests me very much. I'll do one for me or for a friend or something like that. But yeah, no, the custom figures, there's enough of that out there, man. And some of them are great and some of them aren't so great, but there's enough of that. I'd rather do something really unique, and different that's not available. So,
well, also there's a whole side to it that people don't really know about. We're going through all the licensing BS.
Oh God,
approval. Oh. I mean, you could sculpt something that's dead on, and then somebody who owns the license can be like, you need to change this, and then it's ruined, Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just a nightmare. And that's why I think these guys, they're doing their stuff completely unlicensed, but it's on such a small scale. I don't think that they're really on the radar of anybody. Nobody really cares. So they're not having to deal with that. Right. But they're also doing it all themselves, I think, probably,
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 people churning out, these things. Yeah.
But I mean, there's some great stuff. Now, would I collect them? I just don't have the room for that shit anymore. I mean, I like to. I mean,
says the guy who just dropped a shit ton of money at fucking Spirit. I don't have the room for that, bro.
No, but I am a collector mindset that when I get into something, I go all in. So
yeah,
I don't have the room for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, I have one of those figures. It's right there. The one custom figures.
Oh, is it? Is that one?
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
one's
here.
that?
I'll get it. They were kind enough to send me this back. I think they're sending me a 2018 version.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
This is the original shape one.
That's badass.
Yeah,
I did almost
then-
buy their H2O one. I really liked their Winston H2O one. Oh, sweet.
They were super sweet and sent me this, and they're actually sending me a 2018 version of my version, and when I get that, I'll share it on the show. But
sweet.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah.
The only custom one I bought, I don't know who makes it off the top of my head. I could run up and grab it real quick and show it off, but I got an American Psycho one that's insane. Let me go grab it. It's really cool.
Figured out who it is.
What is?
Because I don't want to talk about it and not do a proper shout out. Well, there's Tanella 6-scale tailoring, does all the clothes for all these dolls, including the ones Tots is doing.
Okay.
She does all that. She does it all herself. And then there's One's Customs Figures. He's the guy, I believe his name is Montwain or something like that. He does all the heads and gets the bodies together and stuff. So
I have no idea who did this one because we can't find the box. But this one's friggin' amazing.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, look at the axe, the chrome axe and everything.
Yeah. The face is great. I think it's the same guy.
I mean, how
I'll bet you it's the same guy.
Look at that fucking sculpt. I mean,
it's great. I'm almost positive that's the same guy. One Customs figure. Anyway.
Well, I'll look into it. If I can figure it out, I'll correct myself on the next episode. Brandon Gregory says, now this may sound stupid, but hear me out. Some great movies to watch around Halloween is the Halloween Town series. Sure, the quality may get progressively worse with each one, and they may become corny as hell, but they're dripping with Halloween atmosphere. Also, Hocus Pocus is always a classic. You know, I can't get into Hocus Pocus. Sorry. I know some people love that movie. I can't get into it.
I know a lot of people that love that, worship that movie. A little too light for me.
Yeah, I think maybe we were just a little too old when it came out to really.
I think so. I was into some dark shit around that time, so maybe it wasn't on my radar as much as it should have been. Some great makeup effects and cool stuff, cool production design in it, though, for sure.
Yeah, Tony Gardner did great shit in it, for sure. Jokir says, also, shows are too short. We could listen to you guys for 3 to 4 hours. Great show, great content. I look forward to watching every week. Thank you.
Thanks.
Haunted Hobo, he's back.
The Haunted Hobo.
Great episode, guys. Jimmy the Shape seems like such a cool dude. I have 2 questions for Christopher. Were there ever plans to shoot a scene showing how the podcasters obtained Michael's mask, or was it always meant to be a line we got in the film? And for you both, what is your first horror-themed tattoo? Love the show. Keep them coming.
No, there was never a plan to show how they got the mask. It was always exposition. I think my first horror tattoo was the Mask of Red Death, my Phantom of the Opera.
My first was a very terrible Pinhead, which was free. I was 18.
Why does he look like a kitchen sponge?
Should have seen him before I had him fixed. Bernie Madow, love the 2-part episodes. Just a comment. Daniel Caruso, he's back.
Fuck you.
You guys are the Abbott and Costello of horror. I love how the background masks sometimes change in Christopher's frame. Love you guys. Thanks again. Lee Griffiths. Loving these podcasts. It's great to be able to be transported out of what's happening right now and believe you are there hanging with friends, talking about movies and monsters. Question for Christopher. Is there a makeup you've done which you have since seen when the movie was released? You thought, I wish I had done this to it or added or removed something. Really hope you guys get to bring your talks overseas at conventions when we are finally allowed to. Would be great to hear you both interview guests in front of a crowd, especially here in the UK. All the best and love from your fan from the home of heavy metal, Birmingham, UK, Lay.
Yeah, Birmingham.
Boy, you just opened up a can of worms. Things
Well,
that you wish you could change or have done
oh
better.
God, yeah, no, like name it. Almost every single thing I've ever done, I would change or do better. Everything, including the Myers mask.
Okay, let me expand on the question. What is the one effect that to this day is the one that just makes the hair on the back of your neck stick? Like, oh my God, it looks so bad. Like you're so embarrassed of. Like the one,
God.
There's got to be one that's just like,
Where do I begin? It is endless. I would say there's a couple in Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood that are unwatchable and so douche chilling. They just give you the douche chills. You're just like, goo. It's so, yeah, that movie is filled with them. Pretty much anything in that movie. Ghosts of Mars, I'd say there's a lot that I would love to redo that I worked on. Wasn't all me on that one. Anyway, yeah, there's tons, man.
Fixate says, great episode yet again, gentlemen. Always good to watch. Have you guys fully watched Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, or The Sopranos? I watched all of Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. Big fan of both. Tried to watch Sons of Anarchy. Could not do it. It just was not good, in my opinion.
No, I'm not I'm not a big fan of television series, and there are very few and far between that I watch. I'm a big proponent of Barry, the show Barry, which I think is the best show ever.
You think it's very good?
It's very, very good. But as far as those three, Sons of Anarchy, I tried at the beginning. I couldn't get into it. I just didn't like it. It was too, designer bikers. I don't know. I just didn't buy it. Sopranos, I didn't get into, only because I was like, really, a mafia guy going to therapy? That I was like, meh. Breaking Bad I watched only later. Like while Breaking Bad was on and everyone was like, you got to see this show. I'm the guy that goes, fuck you, I don't want to watch that show because everyone likes it. So we've had this discussion and I rebelled.
I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
But that being said, I was in Atlanta working on, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or something. And at night I would go home and I binged watch the entire series of Breaking Bad, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. I didn't mind that one.
John Freeman says, if I may make an out-of-the-box suggestion for a guest, if you can find him, what about Mark Price, who played Eddie Weinbauer in the classic 1986 horror Trick or Treat?
Yeah, and Skippy
in
Family Ties, right?
Sure, it's a cheesy horror movie, but I love it and would definitely be interested in hearing some of Mark's stories of what it was like to film that movie and maybe get some great Gene Simmons and Ozzy stories. Well, I don't think he ever met Ozzy because that Ozzy scene was shot completely separately. He was on the TV, so I doubt he has any Ozzy stories. But I've met Mark. He's a really good guy. I would definitely have him on at some point. Cody Yates. These just keep getting better every episode. This has become my COVID version of socializing with like-minded friends. It was really cool to hear my name mentioned from my comment on the previous episode. Cody Yates. As usual, I can't wait for the next episode. Cody Yates. Stay safe, y'all.
Thanks, Cody Yates. I appreciate it. Cody Yates.
CODY. Y. Yates.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. We appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Paul Swears says, I prefer the hour-long chunks, even if the full thing isn't in one video. I got a lot of stuff to listen to, so this is perfect. Okay.
Oh, well, I'm glad that we fit into your criteria.
Your busy schedule.
Your busy schedule.
And if things get hectic, let us know and we'll reel it in a little bit.
We will. We want to make sure you're happy, pal.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Crystal Ramos. I think an hour is pretty good in my opinion, but I'd love if it were longer. But I'm good with just an hour long if you can't go any longer. LOL. Oh, we can go longer.
I got cheese. I got cheese all day.
Paul Hassenauer says, hour is a good runtime. Longer, you could break into two parts. Possible idea for the future. Rank the Aliens franchise. Love your content, Sean. Thank you. I think he's just made my other content.
Your other stuff.
Yeah.
Your the good stuff.
The good stuff, not this.
Right.
Don Harrison just said, "Sweet mask, Chris." I don't know. He's probably talking about your mummy that you showed. Bobby Meek says, "Sir Clark and Sir Nelson." Dude, I've been knighted. I've been knighted as well.
You've been knighted as well.
Thank you. Sir Clark and Sir Nelson, congrats on yet another amazing episode. Any chance of Sir Nelson showing us an up-close look of his Myers mask? Now we've seen X18 up close. Also, Sir Nelson mentioned before in a previous episode whose mask belonged to who and for what scene. How did he go about this? Greatest show ever, Halloween 78, followed by Halloween 2018, are the best in the franchise. The rest can suck balls. Take care.
There you go. Yeah, I'll give you an up close showing of that thing. I mean, why not? I'm not hiding it. It's right there. I guess you can't really see it because of the. They're all. It's baffling to me why people want to see up close versions of them all so much, as if they're so vastly different. They're really not. I did every single mask, and I painted them all relatively the same. I mean, there's a looseness to it, so yeah, some of them may vary slightly, but I try very hard to get them all pretty consistent. So there's not that much of a difference. The big difference came in the padding and the inside. I had, hat foam strips inside that I would change around. So, you just change one little foam strip and it alters a lot of the look. So the masks themselves weren't that vastly different. And there weren't a shit ton of them made. Everyone seems to think there was one made for this scene and one for that scene and one for that scene. And there really wasn't. James had his, Nick had his, Stunt had, theirs, which was barely any stunt person. Jim did most of the stunts himself. I think we used the stuntman once in 2018. I'm not talking kills. I'm talking 2018.
The fall down the stairs.
Fall down the stairs. Yeah. Other than that, it was all Jim. So we really there wasn't that many masks. As far as which mask this one is or which one, doesn't matter. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? But yeah, I'm totally willing to show this mask right up in your face. I'll put it on your head through the screen.
David and Abby's Movie Massacre. Cool. I collect 80s G.I. Joe figures and 80s lunchboxes. You guys are awesome. You mesh so well together and are genuinely passionate about your material and very down-to-earth, entertaining guys. Well, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Massacre people.
Midlife Loser says, "Hello, Sean and Christopher." You always spit that out. Midlife Loser.
God bless you for doing that, man.
Yeah.
God bless you for having that name. You're the man now. You're my friend.
Hello, Sean and Christopher. Absolutely loving The Thing with Two Heads. Watched all 9 and looking forward to future episodes. The two of you will definitely get more views and subscribers, no doubt about it. If it's not broken, then don't need to fix it. I believe the time frame you're sharing with each video is perfect. I've been following Mr. Nick Castle on his Twitter account, which I'm quite sure you've been following him as well. He's really needing that mask stand and hopefully a glass cabinet or case to protect that bad boy. With those great pictures he's been sharing with everyone, the hat marathon, I'm just looking out for the OG shape. You guys are awesome. Stay safe and happy Halloween. Guess who's back? It's Colin Murdy.
Oh, it's our pal Colin Murdy.
He says, "Hey guys, it's your
Hello,
friend
Vance.
neighborhood leprechaun again. Just want to ask if you would ever consider possibly bringing on the likes of Steve Zing and London May from Sam Hain
Ooh,
Max Danzig for a show during the month of October leading up to Halloween.
pure evil they are.
Doyle would be a
Evil.
cool guest. Doyle would be cool. I'm just going to stop with the accent. Doyle would be a cool guest also, although he seems kind of shy in interview situations. Jerry Only would probably be more suited as he ain't shy. As possible pre-recorded live feed performances from the ghastly ones during opening credits and end credits would be awesome too.
Jesus, yeah, it would.
Naturally, Jamie Lee or John Carpenter would be the holy grail if they were up to doing it for Halloween two-head special. Anyway, just thought I would throw that out there. As always, just another great show, and love the 2 parts with James Shapey. Shape segment. Absolutely loved hearing the drunken stories. Really enjoyed the longer runtime on this episode. 90 minutes is so perfect. There's a lot of genuine love on this channel on so many levels. Long may it rain.
Yes.
There's a lot of info in there. So
Thanks, Colin.
Steve
Jesus.
Zing and London May are definitely a possibility. They're both good friends and big horror fans. They were already on my mind. I don't know Doyle that well. I don't know Jerry at all. And I don't know Glenn. Met him many times. I would love to get Glenn on. I think Glenn Danzig would be a great one. And you never know. It's possible. I'm very good friends with lots of people connected to him.
Right.
And I think he's making horror films. So I would think he would be down for talking horror. As far as Jamie Lee and John, that obviously the door's open. We'll see down the road.
Thanks, Colin. I appreciate
Colin.
that. He's our pal.
Frosted Lucky Colin. He's magically delicious.
You're magically delicious, Colin. Thank you, lad.
He's a good lad. Swole Monster. Swole Monster. Swole Monster.
Where do you guys come up with these names?
I could watch/listen to you guys talk all day, and then this is all in caps. Best podcast on YouTube. So he was yelling.
He was yelling. He was excited, shouting from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. One person's too long is another person's too short, and vice versa.
One person's too swole is another person's not swole enough.
Not swole enough.
The Viper's Hacks official channel said, loving the podcast, guys. We are big fans of you both. Our question is, what are your favorite Japanese horror films /directors? Our film, The Viper's Hex, is being released in your country soon. Keep up the great work. So I see what you did there. A little plug for yourself while you're throwing in a question.
I'm looking forward to seeing The Viper's Hex.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be getting a copy so we can talk about The Viper's Hex.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if we get sent
a more.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
So do you have a favorite Japanese horror film director or film?
The Takahashi, Mike. It's less about the director and more about the film itself for me. Mm-hmm. It depends on the film.
I have to be honest with you, I'm not that well versed in Asian horror. I mean, I watch a lot of it. I honestly couldn't tell you which one's Chinese, which one's Japanese, which one's Korean. I'd probably end up stepping on my own foot.
Wow. Which one's Dirty Knees? Which one's Look at These?
Something like that. I mean, as far as Asian horror, I mean, of course, the original Ringu.
Right. Kenji Misumi, I like. The Shogun Assassin, movies and stuff. I was huge into Shogun Assassin, like ridiculous.
This is Korean. So anyway, I like this movie, H. If you look closely here, it's got a quote from me on the back cover. So.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
That's why you pulled that out. So his shameless plug was your shameless plug.
No, I'm just saying, obviously I liked it because I talked good about it.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of got sick of the whole long-haired ghost thing. Just kind of.
Oh, you mean the soggy wet girl from
Grudge,
from the well.
All that.
Yeah.
Stuff, it just started to get played out. I did like the original The Eye though quite a bit.
Yeah. The Ringu was good. I like the original Ringu, not the Ring, but Ringu was good.
Yeah, I would go back to like the original Godzilla stuff too.
Totally.
That kind of stuff too. But
yeah.
But do I have a favorite? Not so much.
Battle Royale. Oh, fuck, I love that.
Yeah.
Kinji Fukasaku did some good stuff. I love the Battle Royale series. Yeah.
King Henry VR4 says, I always forget I have a huge Elusive Concept Inc. Frankenstein mask from 1991 that I picked up at a church sale years back for like $1. He's just telling us. I used to have that same mask. In fact, I bought all of the Elusive Concept, those really oversized ones, you know what I'm talking about? Every one of them turned to rubble. Like they hardened and just crumbled.
So the latex wasn't good. They used cheap latex.
Yeah. I mean, they were thick. I don't know if you remember, they were thick. Like I had the creature. The creature was so thick, it just hardened and just crumbled.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the latex quality right there.
Isn't that also mixing water in with the latex does that too?
Thinning it out too.
Yeah. Michael Myers. Holy shit, Michael Myers made a comment.
Holy shit.
Michael Myers, how do you survive during 110-degree weather? I'm in Pennsylvania and can't handle 70 degrees. It's been brutal.
It's a dry heat. A lot of air conditioning, a lot of AC, and hopefully you got a pool, or at least a hose that
I got a hose. He has a pool.
one of your loved ones can hose you off in the front yard.
Yeah, there, Mr. Hollywood with the pool in the backyard and everything. Wesley Hall. I have 2 questions for Christopher. First question, what scene is your mask H18 from? They want to know what scene your mask is from.
Okay.
Second question, can you ask David why the original ending wasn't released? Do you know why they never put that on even as a bonus feature?
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't do a bonus feature thing. I think because they want the film to live in its what it is. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure at some point that'll come out. But why would you? I wouldn't. I would do the same thing. Why would you put an alternate ending bonus feature on a film that you're trying to get people to invest in? I think that's probably why they didn't put it out yet. I think eventually it probably would. I like the original ending a lot.
Can you quickly describe what that was?
The original ending, there's more of a confrontation as far as like a physical confrontation between Laurie and the Shape. And it took place out front of her house. And there was more involvement with Judy Greer's character and Andy's character. And there was a whole, empowering of women thing kind of vibe to it, and was very cool, much more action packed. Part of it ends up being some stuff you saw, and part of it ends up being kind of at the shooting range, and it's much more cerebral and it's much more somber and it's a little more esoteric and a little more which I actually preferred and makes you feel a lot. So I hope that David, I hope they put it out, because I think it's really cool. I saw that ending cut into the movie first before we even went and reshot a lot of the bit, and it was super cool. I dug it. But,
was that whole bit with the secret basement thing all added later, or was that always there?
Oh no, that was always in the script. There was always elements of that. As it stands now, the whole confrontation happens in the house. In the original version, it didn't. It was all outside. So everything ended outside.
In the original version, did they ever trap him in the basement, or did that never happen?
No, it went through the house and stuff, but came outside stuff. It was a different thing, which I liked a lot. As far as this mask, what was the question? What scenes it used in?
Yeah,
it was used in lots of scenes.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Darren S. said, longer episodes are great. I think most people are used to lengthy podcasts these days. I also have a question for Chris. What creation of your own has repulsed you the most? And have you ever thought you've gone too far with the makeup or an effect? Loving the podcast, one of the best on YouTube right now. Keep them coming. I'm guessing what he means, something that was so realistic that you were like, oh God, that like even actually made you,
No, because you're seeing it from beginning to end, so there's nothing that you're like. I mean, the only time I ever really did that or got disgusted when I did this movie called The Animal with Rob Schneider, and I had to glue hair onto his ass. So we had these hair pieces, lace hair pieces that were in pieces, and I literally had to glue hair to his ass, like down here, gluing hair to his ass. That repulsed me. Wasn't a big fan of that. There's a scene in American Horror Story that got cut out in the second season called Asylum, where a nun gets raped in the woods by a mutated Nazi experiment. I was on set for that going, what are we doing right now? This is crazy. So anyway.
Don Harrison said, do you guys like Battle of the Planets? I used to love it as a kid. I used to watch the cartoon all the time.
Yeah.
You remember Battle of the Planets?
I do.
Sawyer Smoke, thanks for answering my question about the 2018 mask, guys. Love the show, and I couldn't agree with you more about the Alamo Drafthouse and similar theaters. The extra cost is well worth it for the movie nerds.
Sawyer Smoke sounds like a modern country rock band, doesn't it?
Yeah, I see that. Calm Down Rich said, a great long episode. I also got an early VHS copy of Blair Witch with the original music track playing in Mike's car. It was great to finally see it with a completely clueless audience when it finally opened in limited theater release at Edwards Theater across from South Coast Plaza. Then after it became a huge hit, the whole cast showed up on Leno and ruined the big mystery. That's funny. I've seen lots of movies at that very theater he is talking about. So I guess he's a local OC person, or was at the time. But yeah, I remember I saw Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 there.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that theater's still there. Not sure. Tony Floyd said, can we get the Coupe de Villes to reunite? No. I can already answer that. I've tried. John says he can't sing anymore. So that's his reason.
Big trouble.
In Little China. That's an it. In Little China. But Eric Eltringham wants to know what's up with all the porn bots. We determined we talked about dick too much in the last episode. That's why.
I think that's what it is. I don't know. I was curious about that myself. I was like, what the hell is going on with this thing? Okay.
Candace Janice says, oh my God, I thought you could only watch Ultraman around Chicago. Everyone I met outside of the Chicago area had never heard of it. Thanks, Chris, for mentioning something I used to watch when I was a kid.
Well, they watch it in Japan. I know that. But anyway, no, that was all over the place. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alex S. said, who signed your Danzig drum skin? Chuck Biscuits, too. The Danzig one is just London May, Steve Zing, and Johnny Kelly. This one here is signed by all the members of Sam Hain, London May, Steve Zing, Glenn Danzig, and whoever was playing guitar on that reunion tour. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That was a gift London May gave me for my birthday, and this was a gift Johnny Kelly gave me. Got a lot of bots saying they need boyfriends and they're single. GNJK said, dang, I didn't mean my resolution comment from the last video as a shitty comment. I'm just into the show. Thanks, guys. And no, didn't take it as a shitty comment. It was a valid comment, and we needed to fix it, and we did. So thank you.
Constructive criticism. That's what that was.
Rocky 4123 said, great show, Sean and Chris. Since you both are rock and metal fans, what are your thoughts on the band Rat? I always thought they were a killer hard rock band with great hooks and songs. Warren DeMartini is one of the best guitarists from the 80s, and Stephen Pearcy has a unique voice that fit Rat perfectly. What are your thoughts? Thank you. Go, Chris.
I like the first Rat album. Actually, the first two. There's an EP, I believe, that they had, and then they had their full-length album. I love the first two Rat albums. I think they're highly underrated. And I agree. Warren DeMartini is a really cool guitarist. I thought he had really interesting phrasing and sound, and Robin Crosby was part of that too because they played off each other. But
yeah,
I liked the first couple Rat albums. Then I kind of got out of it because I was more into new wave of British heavy metal and stuff. But I like the first two Rat albums. I think they're super cool. Yeah,
I was a big Rat fan. Saw them on that first big tour when they opened for Ozzy on Bark of the Moon, and I've seen them multiple times. I've seen Rat probably 5 or 6 times. I liked the first 4 records. Warren DeMartini's guitar playing. I mean, seriously, that riff for Lay It Down, he was a great guitar player. And since he left the band, yeah, I think they need to call it a day. I mean, now it's like Juan Crocier and Stephen Pearcy are the only 2 left standing at this point. And Rat was existing, the 2 versions of Rat at one point. There was Bobby Blotzer's Rat, and I mean, it gets silly with these guys trying to do different versions. But I like Rat. Hungry Wives said, Jesus Christ, this is actually more suspenseful than like 9 of these movies. Our ranking episode was more suspenseful than 9 of the Halloween films.
Wow, that's what's that tell you about the Halloween films?
Yeah, Michael Mercadante. I've been lurking in the comments since the show started. I'm a huge fan of Horrors Hall Grounds, so much so that I started buying movies I had never seen before from Scream Factory whenever they announced a new episode would be included. See what I'm saying, Scream Factory?
Hear that, Scream Factory?
Yeah. I'm bummed you're not involved with the Friday set. Hear that, Scream Factory? But I hope they eventually do Elm Street and we finally get an HHG for Elm Street 2. Anyway, I'm loving the podcast. Like many others have said, it feels like I'm hanging out with 2 of my buddies, shooting the shit. Can't wait for the next episode. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, man.
Barlow's Boutique said, I agree with Chris on the nostalgia of time and place seeing these movies plays a big factor. Also, this episode convinced me they should be longer. It ended, and I was like, no! Great episode. That Halloween movie collector said, I love that you guys watched Class Action Park. I grew up in northern New Jersey and used to go to Accident Park all the time. That's what we called it in the day. What did you think of the doc?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was so good. I really enjoyed that documentary. I was wondering how it was going to end because it starts out like so fun and funny, and you're like, this is hilarious. Oh my God. And then it goes dark.
Yeah.
Like really, like boom.
Yeah.
Like,
People dying
Jesus.
and shit.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Dual opinions of the guy who owns the joint and how much people think he's a piece of shit murderer, and other people think that, you know, it's a good documentary. Yeah, highly recommend it. Really good one.
Wamina Scrub said, I just laughed so hard at the H4 mask being better than the 2018. Great burn.
Well,
that was
Sean's very proud of it. So
that was a good burn. Obviously, it was a joke because the 2018 mask is far superior. Nick Gilchrist says, well done, guys. Keep up the good work. This one's for Sean. What was it like being on set of Kills if you can describe the atmosphere in 3 words? In 3 words, describe the atmosphere?
Yeah. Why do you only get 3 words?
I don't know, but I got to do it in 3 words. So I'm going to say...
They better be gold. They better be fucking gold.
Hot and humid.
That's exactly it.
It was awesome. I had so much fun hanging out with Chris and James and watching. It was a blast. I can't wait till I can actually talk about it and share photos and stuff. Johnny Edwards said, if Scooby-Doo and the gang had met Michael Myers, who would be the first to die and who would survive?
Well, Scooby would die because Mike's got to eat.
Yeah, that's a good call. And then who would survive? I'd say if you were going by the rules, it would be Velma that would survive.
Yeah, true.
The virgin nerd.
Is she a virgin though? I don't know, man. Nerdy girls are dirty.
Cliff Harris says, I typically don't like watching or listening to podcasts, but you two are the exception. It's funny that you mentioned Crypticon in your previous episode because I was there that weekend and briefly met Sean on that Saturday and even got a pic with him instead of Nick Castle. I don't know why you would do that. Why would you get a pic with me instead of OG Shay? I am usually nervous about meeting guests at events like that, but Sean was very approachable and I appreciated that. I didn't know much about Chris at the time, but since these podcasts, I wish I had met him. Keep up the great work, guys, and look forward to your next episode. He wishes he had met you.
That's really nice. I didn't know much about Chris at the time. Does that mean when he walked by my table, he was like, whatever, just kept going?
Well, let's face it. I mean, you're behind the scenes, man. I mean, that's
true.
A lot of people don't know what the effects guys look like unless you're just a hardcore nerd,
That's true. That's true.
But now you're putting yourself out there and you're going to be just like the belle of the ball with this fucking show. This is it. Get used to it, man. Get used to getting stopped at the fucking Whole Foods and everything. Like, dude, love your podcast, bro. I heard you do makeup too. Sleep with the Light On said, surprise Friday episode. Thanks for making my weekend, fellas. Sean, you were rocking a Queen shirt in The Night She Came Home documentary. Was just wondering what your favorite Queen album is. Same question for Chris, if he's a fan as well. Mine would be Innuendo. Have either of you gotten the chance to see them live? Thanks for the awesome show once again, and thanks for being so great at answering our questions.
I love Queen. Oh, yeah, God, I'm a huge Queen fan. I like Innuendo. That's not my favorite, but Innuendo is a good album. Very underrated. Yeah, it's a great album. I mean, Night at the Opera, Sheer Heart Attack.
God,
there's so many good Queen albums. One I gravitate towards, it might not necessarily be their best album musically or sonically. It was a big hit for them, but I gravitate towards it because of the time it came out and where I was. And all is The Game. I think The Game is a great album. Like Dragon Attack is one of the coolest songs ever. But I love The Game. But yeah, I love Queen, man. Love them.
I'm flip-flopping between 4 records right now. I mean, that's how much I love the band. And The Game being one of them, Sheer Heart Attack being another one, Jazz.
Yeah.
But I think I have to go to News of the World because that's the album that was the first album I bought of theirs that really pulled me in, even though it probably isn't overall their best record. But it has, like, obviously We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. Those are the songs that sucked me in as a kid. But you know what? Guilty pleasure, Hot Space. Just saying. Oh, did you ever see them in concert?
I did. I saw Queen back, I think, during the game.
Wow.
It was right up there with seeing Bowie and stuff. You knew you were seeing something iconic. You know, Freddie Mercury to me is, I mean, I could do a whole show on Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
But it was just unbelievable. His voice is so emotional and pure gold, but seeing him live was just great, and the sound was fantastic. And yeah, I got to see them with Freddie Mercury. It was great.
That's one of my biggest regrets. I never got to see them. Nat JB said, "Thanks guys for another great show. I have a question, if possible, please. My daughter Evie is 10 and is totally dedicated to creating horror special effects. Some of her creations, wounds, burns, etc., have turned my stomach, and she wants this pathway for her future career. What advice would you give to a young girl from the UK who wants to pursue this passion, and what guidance is available for such a career? Thanks, guys. Any help would be much appreciated. Many thanks, Nathan."
That's very cool to hear. I'm always super excited to hear that someone so young is into that world. I'll try to make it quick, but there's so much information. There's a lot of really talented artists in the UK. You don't necessarily need to come to Hollywood to do makeup and makeup effects, because there's all over the world, artists have excelled in this field. So, and there's tons of really awesome people in the UK. I would say my advice is to keep doing it. Do it all the time. Do it every day. Live it. I would say try to start maybe steering away from doing gore all the time and work on the foundations of makeup, highlight and shadow, and then also character stuff. You know, can you make a fake nose? Can you make fake ears? Can you make people look completely different? Concentrate on that. Concentrate on your painting and sculpting skills. Don't worry so much about all the gore stuff. That stuff's easy. Look into schools. There's plenty of great schools now. There wasn't when I came up. Don't learn off of YouTube. Look into the Dick Smith course. Look into MUD, or look into Stan Winston School. Look into, there's tons of really great schools. Get on with it. Do it.
It's all for you, Demon. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right. This was fantastic fun. I was so disappointed to hear that closeout music come in. Can't wait for part 2. Thanks for doing this. I suddenly need a Halloween marathon in my weekend. Take care. Oh, don't do that to yourself, buddy.
Don't do it.
It was hard enough for us to get through it.
Really
Bump in the Night Studios. Now, I had a question. Bump in the Night Studios, is this Chuck Jarman, Bump in the Night Studios? I don't know, because we've been getting questions from Bump in the Night Studios, and I used to know Chuck. Did you know Chuck?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, Chuck Jarman had a mask company called Bump in the Night Studios. I'm just curious if it's you, Chuck. I don't know. You guys are awesome. I'm loving all the episodes. Best podcast, hands down. This is the only channel that when I see a video drop, I watch immediately. Appreciate you guys doing this. Please keep them coming. You got it, sir. Rono Coop. Well done, guys. Excited for part 2. Terry says, just Terry, "Hey, guys, absolutely love the show. Christopher cracks me up. Need more off my lawn segments. Sean is just plain awesome. Question for Christopher. What do you think of the Trick or Treat Studios masks?" Sean, "I love Trilogy of Terror figure. Scared me when I was little. Need input from both. I've owned Nightmare Before Christmas for many years. I've never seen it. This is the year Christmas or Halloween." He's asking which should he watch it, Christmas or Halloween?
Both.
Yeah, watch it in Halloween, and then when you'll fall in love with it and you'll watch it again on Christmas.
You'll want to watch it again. Yeah.
So I guess they're asking, do you like the Trick or Treat Studios masks?
Yeah, I think they do a great job. I think some of their masks are great. Some are better than others, and yeah, I like Trick or Treat Studios. I'm a supporter. I'm a fan of their stuff.
You gotta give the John Carpenter answer. I love it every time I get a check.
Love it every time I get a check.
Cameron Custer says, "Great content, fellas. Hands down the best horror podcast out there. Keep killing it. Sean's ranking is pretty much on par with mine so far. Can't wait to see the rest of the list. Quick question for Sean and Chris both. Out of all of your Halloween memorabilia, what would you say is your most? I saw that.
I'm opening a jar.
Oh, okay.
There
I
you go.
can't be opening and closing all kinds of jars. Out of all your Halloween memorabilia, what would you say is your absolute favorite item? I'm guessing just memorabilia, not props.
My Jamie Lee Curtis wrap gift from Halloween Kills is a new good one.
Yeah.
That's not really memorabilia. My mask.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I have the cool framed black and white photos from Kim
Kim
that are
Gottlieb.
cool. I have a lot. I have a lot of stuff.
If I'm not talking about props or screen use type stuff, I would go with my
That's my boy Oscar.
I would go with my original international one sheet that's signed by everybody, because it's a super rare poster and it's signed by pretty much everybody but Donald. So
That's pretty cool.
and Deborah Hill. Didn't get Deborah either. I did get Mustafa. Horror Unseen said, in the original Halloween 1978, was the train supposed to be in the movie when Loomis finds the matchbook? I don't think so. I think that was just a dumb luck.
I think it was a happy accident.
Yeah. Reeb Cram, Reebkram.
Reeb Cram.
Reeb Cram. It's true. VHS horror is scarier. Fuck HD. My Blu-ray. The fog is way too clean.
Fuck HD.
Fuck HD, man.
But we were just having this conversation. We were watching, me and Norman Cabrera were watching Beneath the Planet of the Apes recently on Blu-ray, I guess it was. And we're both bitching about how clear it was and how there's so much stuff that you're seeing that you're not supposed to. You weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be.
I feel that way about all the Rankin Bass movies as they're coming out on Blu-ray, and you start to watch like Santa Claus is Coming to Town or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And you can see everything now, and it's like, it's too clear,
Yeah.
I don't want to see the flocking on Rudolph,
No.
I don't want.
Right.
Beeford Smith said, loving the podcast, fellas. It's friggin' great. If you guys could get a sequel to any cult classic film, what would it be? Mine would be a direct sequel to Halloween 3. I want to know how the world deals with the fact that every kid's head turned into bugs and snakes. Keep up the excellent work, dudes.
I can think of a lot. The first one that comes to my mind, to be honest with you, is The Thing.
Yeah.
I would love a really good sequel to The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. This is the rub, if you will. Even though you want sequels to certain movies, it would ruin certain movies.
Absolutely. 100%.
But then every once in a while, I'm wrong. Like, I really like Dr. Sleep. And that was the sequel I thought I was going to despise. But I liked what they did. It was totally different. Not what I would have ever expected or imagined. Terror Train, as I was saying earlier, I would have loved to see, a sequel to that. I'd love to see a sequel to Funhouse, The Warriors, Clockwork Orange. Those are just some off the top of my head. Oh my God, this person really went nuts with the comments. This is a long one. Basically saying how oh boy, should I just read it? No, it's too fucking long. It's really long.
Can you cliff note it?
I'm trying.
Shout their name and cliff note it.
All right. So this is Rhyme and Reasoning. Okay, Rhyme and Reasoning. This is the longest comment of all time. We need to try to keep these to, make them small so we can quickly get into it. Seems like what he wants to say here is,
we just want to get to everybody. That's
all. You floored me when you mentioned Skate Town, USA. I'd never heard of the movie until last night. Was watching reruns of Facts of Life. One of the actors was found out it was Greg Bradford, who was the lead in Skate Town. Also, interestingly enough, you mentioned the movie Surf 2 with Buzzy, Ron Palillo in both movies. So looking for Skate Town, USA last night, watching your video today was just freaky.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then he goes into the whole thing about a lot of the Halloweens and blah, blah. Let's see. Would like us to have Daniel Harris on as a guest. That was the end of the comment. But there's a lot of comments on here.
Right.
But thank you for the effort. And
thanks.
Yeah, keep them coming. Just a little.
Keep them coming. Unfortunately, we're going to have to trim that one.
Well played, sir. Paul Hausenauer says, what did you guys think of The Dust Walker? I like the acting story, like the way the director allowed the editing to take time showing the townspeople staring when they were infected, hated the CGI monster. Just wondering what you guys thought of it. I've never heard of it. The Dustwalker, never heard of it.
Me neither.
So neither of us have an opinion on that, but we'll look into the Dustwalker. Know nothing about it. Kevin Reynolds, Sorcerer is amazing, intense film, freaking on top of his.
Damn right it is.
Chris, have you seen the original French film, The Wages of Fear? If not, I recommend checking it out.
Indeed, I have seen Wages of Fear. It's an Australian film, I believe, and it's
So
fantastic.
Sorcerer is a remake?
It's a remake, yes. And it's really good. It's just as good, if not better, actually. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend Wages of Fear, yes.
I know the anticipation has been killing you all.
Here it is.
For part 2 of the ranking of the Halloween franchise with Zach Myers from Shinedown. You're going to walk away from this loving us, hating us, maybe respecting us.
We hope you guys enjoy this. Part 2 of our ranking of the Halloweens. We'll see you soon. I'm going to go H2O on this one. I'm going H2O on this one. I think because H2O, I rank it better than 6 because it came at a time where it was a better made film. It looked better. It was pretty and you know, Jamie Lee Curtis in it and everything like that and all that jazz. The masks were all over the place in that.
I'm about to say, we're not going to talk about this.
We're not talking about that. I'm not talking about masks in any of these now because from that after, just forget it. After 2018,
I'm going to talk about masks. I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll talk about masks. But I do love
the digital mask
is awesome.
Come on.
In a bad way. Yeah. I mean, in a bad way. I mean, it's the worst ever in the entire universe. It's so shitty. And but also too, it had that Scream vibe. Everyone was making horror movies around that time. That was everything looked like Scream or felt like Scream, and it had the, you know, the hot fucking actors and stuff as opposed to a ton of unknowns and things like that. But it was a slick movie. I wasn't a fan of the head chopping off at the end. I was like, what? Again, now we're in territory where to me it's all goulash. To me it's all just garbage.
Just order something off the dollar menu. It all tastes
exactly. It's like coming out of, like I said, you're coming out of a bar, you're on your way home, and you're really hungry, and you go, "I'll eat that fucking burrito. It tastes really good right now."
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right, I'm gonna probably. I don't know. I may turn some heads on this one.
I'm starting to get nervous. This is about the nervous point for me.
Okay. I'm going now, mind you, on first viewing of this film, I would have not said this, but this is a movie I've revisited and tend to appreciate a little bit now.
Oh no. I have a feeling what's coming. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
I'm going Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew it.
Wow. Now, hear me out. Now, I hated it when I first saw it. And the reason I hated it was because, you know, he basically, what I love about Halloween is the mystique of the character and the fact that he's telling us what he is, and he's a white trash kid that was abused. Doesn't scare me, does nothing for me. But going back and revisiting that film and understanding he was trying to do something different, it's a well-made film. Film looks good. I like the look of the mask, you know, what Wayne Toth did with the mask. Mm-hmm. I do think Tyler played the part fine. I just think he's way too big. I mean, he's just, but when I tried to compare it to what's left on my list, I'm like, this is a better movie than those other ones. Yeah! It may not be a great movie, but it's a better movie. Mm-hmm. So I'm going Rob Zombie's 2007. Remake.
Cool, dude.
I'll keep mine brief.
They're like, cool news, bro.
My 7. We're 7, right?
Yep.
My 7, which, I mean, again, by a nose hair, H2O, but 3 in H2O. I liked the movie. I liked the way it was shot. I felt like it was shot way more classically than 4, 5, and 6 as a horror movie. Mm-hmm. Like Chris said, I love the cast of characters. You know, it was kind of stacked in that way. I think that Halloween has this really cool way of doing this. The only other franchise I've ever seen do it is Star Wars, where they cast a person that you've never known, never seen anything else for the most part, and they're a great actor. You know, you had never seen Josh Hartnett in anything before that. You had never seen Michelle Williams only in Dawson's Creek. You know what I mean? So like, I thought they had a cool way of doing that. You know, I thought that was I've always kind of thought that was endearing about the franchise. But as far as H2O goes, the masks, again, listen, after 78, we can poke holes in anything, right? So I think that H2O was a well-made film. I think bringing Jamie back was great. I think that was, again, if that was how we're ending it, which didn't happen, you know, what a way to end it. Like Sean said, you know, the head's gone. That's the only way we can kill this monster. You know what I mean? And I was like, it's cool. Secondly, when we shot the video for our song Get Up, we're pulling into the driveway of this mansion, and I'm like, holy shit.
The Paramore.
I'm like, this is where they filmed Halloween H2O. So me and, again, John, I could keep bringing up John, our trusty security guy, who's just as much of a nerd as I am. Dude, we're going around. He's like, oh, dude, this is where the dumb waiter was and all this stuff. So, like, it was still there. I still got pictures of all of it. What you didn't see in the house was there was right outside, there was a huge pool that they never showed. But like walking, like if you watch the Get Up and Monsters video of ours, like that house is all in it. We're actually we're performing in the room where the table scene was, where he's standing on top of the tables and he starts flipping the tables. That's the room that we were performing in. Like it was amazing, man. It was super cool to do that. So 7 is H2O for me. My number 7 is Halloween H2O.
Well, you know, they used that same house, the Paramore, in Scream 3. And
Yeah.
you do see the pool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep mine brief because, as I said, it's all goulash. Oh, okay. I'm going number 6. Sorry.
The Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference of the producer's cut or the theatrical cut?
Nope.
Theatrical cut. I can't speak.
Nope. It's all
Crap to you. Okay.
It's all poopy.
It's all Taco Bell at 3 a.m. to Chris, man.
No taco. It's all taco. Exactly, man. I'm like, whatever, dude. But you know, it's fun to sit and eat some popcorn. I'm gonna get crucified for doing this.
So what's your bone with 6, or is it just the same pile you?
It's the same pile, man. It's all the same shit, man. Yeah, it's all the same stuff.
Did you think it was filmed good?
Yeah, I think all of them have. I don't think any of them were really terribly filmed until we get to where we're going. But
we all know where we're going.
We all know where we're going. But no, I don't think so. I think it was. It's all just fine, man. Again, I'm such a.
Man.
I like.
Fine, man.
I like. It's all fine, man. I love the. None of them have at this time, again, none of them have a feeling like I'm even watching a Halloween movie. They could be called something else and put something else in and everything's interchangeable and none of it makes sense and there's no continuity. Like none of it. It's all I don't get it. Like I was never that guy. I could speak more franchise wise that I liked about some of the other franchises that.
Yeah.
We'll do someday. And I personally, I think we should have Zach. Anytime we rank a franchise, Zach should be the guy we do it with.
I was literally getting ready to say, like, I will come on this show. I've done, dude, since we've been in quarantine, this is no joke, 60 podcasts. This is the most fun I have ever had.
Well, because you're sick of talking about yourself. You're sick of talking about music.
But I get to talk about something I love with two of my friends that I know
Right.
well. It's just, this is the most fun I've ever had. Like, we've been doing this 90 minutes. I feel like we've been doing it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I know.
So, number 8 for me is Halloween 5. We've already discussed it enough. Halloween 5 was, I was too young to realize what a rushed movie was, but I definitely realized what a rushed movie was when that movie came out. Because I remember it was like, here's this one, here's the next one. And I was like, hold on, this doesn't make a lot of sense. It was so quick. And again, I started with 4, then I went back. So I was like ready for 5, man. I'm 8 years old. I'm like, let's do this. I'm into it now. 9, I think I'm maybe 9. And I thought it was just a bad movie. I did like the comedy relief because but I only think I liked it because it took away from what a horrible movie it was Storyline wise, again though, wasn't shot that bad. Like I some of the darker scenes, the barn scene with the sickle, the Jamie and the coffin with the, when he pulled off the mask, I was like, is this Scott Hall from WWF? Like I wasn't really sure what was going on. And it was like, when you're a kid and before you know more about the lineage and before you don't want to see who it is, it was exciting to see his face back then. You know what I mean? You're like, well, that's what his face looks like. Even though, again, as a kid, I didn't know it was a different guy playing him every time. I wasn't into the intricacies of the movie yet. So, yeah, 5 for me. They're well shot in certain ways. Story.
My 8 will be Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, so late. Okay.
And sorry, Zach. I mean, disappointing.
Well, if you want to get rid of that mask, then I have a great.
No, that mask is from H2O, so I'm keeping.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Just because it's a Part 6 mask.
Yeah.
But I still collect all this shit, even the ones I don't like. I collect, Halloween stuff. But it's obviously a movie riddled with problems. I kind of prefer the theatrical cut just because I like that it has more the gore gags, which I think this movie needs, just because it standalone, it's not a good enough film to scare you on with the same merit that the first film did, using theater of the mind. But and also the fact that I think A. Michael Lerner looks so much better in the costume. I like that better. But let's face it, neither theatrical or producer cut is a good film. They're both pretty bad. So
I inherently disagree with that.
That's okay. and you can disagree. That is
Why do you disagree with that, sir?
I just think that when you said it wasn't scary to me, and maybe it was a time that when it came out, I really liked the style of the filming with the flashing lights and the seeing his face. He can kind of be anywhere thing. I did really like that. Again, George Wilbur at the time did not do himself any favors in that costume. I'll agree with you. But I mean, I think Paul Rudd knocked it out of the park in that movie. I think he played that character. To me, that character could have been Tommy, right? Easily. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a grown-up version of that. So I like it better than some of the other ones we mentioned. That's why I was number 4 on my list. But anyway, we're not here to debate each other.
No, we're not.
Or are we?
And I'm not gonna spend an hour telling you why you're wrong. I'm not gonna do that. I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Number 9, I'm going with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers.
All right.
Beautifully shot film. Terrible looking mask. I thought Don Shanks did a fine job as Michael. I thought he was a scary Michael. He had a strong presence. So this is something that's always bothered me about this franchise, is the lack of fucking continuity. Obviously starting with the mask, but Jesus Christ, when did the fucking Myers house become the Munsters house? I mean, and then it changes again in Part 6. I mean, it's like
no one's gonna notice it.
Yeah, just nobody. And to be honest with you, when they switched actresses, the J.C. Brandy as Jamie and Halloween 6, I didn't know that was supposed to be her until years later when somebody said, oh, well, Jamie. And I'm like, wait a second, that's supposed to be Jamie Lloyd?
Oh, that
no idea. No fucking idea. Had they just paid Danielle Harris what she wanted, we would have had a little bit more continuity there. But it's, just throwing them out there, just.
I don't even have to say why I don't like these movies. You guys do it for me.
Yeah.
You do it.
The thing with the house is you couldn't have got a B unit to just go shoot the house or build a house, and then you're gonna do the rest of the shit on a set anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
You couldn't have got a B unit at that point when those movies were making a lot of money. That late 80s money was coming in. That stuff was starting to really pick up. Yeah. More money than they'd ever made on any of the other movies in the past. You couldn't get a B unit to go shoot that house at night for 2 hours.
You couldn't get a fucking carpenter to whip up a facade in the front of one of a pre-existing home. I could go on Google Street Map in 5 minutes and find a house in Salt Lake City that looks more like the Myers house. That fucking Munsters looking house looked. That was
I got a
green.
house 20 minutes from me that looks exactly like the Myers house. I see it every time I'm driving downtown.
So there's my part 5 rant. That's my number 9 is Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers.
I would say number 9. I'm gonna go. Oof. Jesus.
Which piece of shit do you want to eat, Chris? Do you want this one or do you want this one?
We have
This
number
one's
9.
got peanuts. This one's got corn.
Just eat your McRib, Chris.
Yeah.
I know, man.
Yeah, I like McRibs, bro. Come on, McRib's kind of good.
Eat your McRib.
I'm
Have
from
your
Memphis,
Shamrock
bro. I
Shake, man.
can't get on a McRib sandwich.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. Oh man, this is tough. I'm going Resurrection.
Whoa!
Did you just get fucking body snatched?
I'm going Resurrection. This is we're on the last 2, right?
No,
Oh, sorry. Are you fucking?
we're on the last 3.
Are you
What are you
Tyra
talking about?
Banks in a Chris Nelson mask?
Wait,
is
hold
happening?
on. I might be off here. We have 3 more to go.
Yeah. After this one, there's 2 more.
I'm missing one then. I think we're later.
Yeah, I think so.
we're Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah! Wow!
And we've already discussed it. But I mean, I was so angry when that movie came out. Angry, like anger, like heated anger. Like I had friends going, dude, you need to calm down about this. You need to just take it easy. And I was like, no,
This sounds so familiar.
I was so, I don't know why it heated my passion so much. I think because if he'd had not called it Halloween, if he called it something else and put a different mask on it, I'd have liked the movie better. I'll say that. Because as a film, it's not a poorly made film. It's not a poorly acted film. It's got great effects. Wayne Toth always does great work. I mean, it's all that's all good. It was gritty. It had a very, kind of not grindhousey, but you know what I mean, Tobe Hooperish type of vibe to it, which he's a huge influenced by. But I was furious that all of that they just reduced him to a white trash, stereotypical textbook 101 serial killer childhood thing. I was furious, and I could elaborate of what I did, but I'm not going to. Maybe another time, because I don't need clickbait at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
Well, I can tell you, he drove by Rob Zombie's house and threw feces at it. That's what he did. Anyway.
All right. Am I going? This is my 9?
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, 2007.
Yeah! Wow!
Now, all right. I'm going to talk about this movie. I'll let you guys talk about the movie when you say it, and then when I talk, I'll talk about.
I already talked about.
yeah,
know
me
you
too.
did.
I already talked.
So I love Rob. I've toured with Rob. I know Rob. I love Rob's other movies. Halloween means too much to me for kind of the direction he took it in. Now, what Chris said, if this was another scary person and just a normal dude in a normal face doing these things, this would have been a great movie. Might I say, as a director, shot very well.
Yeah.
Very classic horror movie. I'd put it cinematically top 4, maybe. In the top 4 of how it was shot, I really enjoyed. I don't need to know why he does what he does.
Yeah.
It makes it so less scary to know that he was just some kid with a super white trash mom and dad, and he grew up in a fucked up place. Like, I don't care. Okay, now I know him as a kid, and he's not scary to me anymore.
Yeah.
Granted, now he's 9.5 feet fucking tall, but love the actor. I forgot his name. Love the actor who played the stepdad, but at the same time, like,
William Forsythe.
yeah, the excessive motherfucker, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, come on, dude. Like
Yeah.
this is it's too much, man. Like it was overacted with good actors. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and I like Rob's movies, and I think they're acted very well. And again, back to the filming of it, amazingly filmed. I thought the girls in it did a good job. I thought all the girls did a good job.
Yeah.
It was just I thought Dag did a great job as the kid. Again, if this was any other movie, man, it would be way higher up there for me. I thought he was very vulnerable in the hospital. Could easily have been horribly acted with any other person. But yeah, shot well, just the storyline, missed it for me. The over excessive gratuitousness of it was a little much for me. I feel like Rob is too good and too cool of a director to that feeling of over trying was there.
Heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Heavy-handed, very heavy-handed.
Well, like I said earlier, and you just said it again, taking away the mystique of the character, what made this movie special? It would be like saying, okay, I'm going to remake Star Wars, but they're going to get rid of that force thing and and not like lightsaber, just going to be like a sword, and you're just like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
This is what makes this special.
But if you go back to it and you say, hey, listen, name these main 5 characters, different names.
Yeah.
And call it Halloween something else.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah. Give it
But remaking Halloween 1, like, no, come on now.
It's like Gus Van Sant remaking Psycho in color, shot for shot. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did we cover that? Are we on 10, 11?
We're on 10 and 11.
10.
All right. Sean, you want to go first?
You want me to do this one?
Yeah.
All right. This is, we start in 10. It reveals what our last one is, obviously.
Yeah.
This is going to be easy, though. This is the easy part. Now it's get off my lawn part.
Other than shitting on Friends, it's easy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I flip-flopped on this one, man, because I was really on the fence. I love
that your struggle has been with the most 2 terrible Halloween movies.
Really? I mean, I had this answer for sure until I rewatched Halloween 2 last night. I rewatched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 because I said, you know what? I want to be as fair as possible on this list. You guys quit judging me. I haven't said anything yet.
No, I'm not judging. I'm shaking my head.
Somebody's about to get unfollowed on Instagram.
I'm just surprised that I'm shaking my head because you sat and watched it again. It was
Dude.
great. That's why I'm like, wow.
Well, here's the thing. I saw it in the theater. Then I saw the director's cut on Blu-ray, and I have not touched that movie since. All right. And I thought, you know what? I haven't seen it in so long. When I went back and revisited the 2007 Rob Zombie film, I was like, okay, I've got all that off my chest, all the anger, all the things you guys said. And I'm like, I'm going to sit down and kind of look at it from a different perspective. And I was like, it's not that bad. Take away all the disappointment of it not being what I wanted it to be. It wasn't bad. And I'm like, okay, it is better than some of those other sequels. But I watched the part 2 last night, and it's a well shot film. It's got it's got some great makeup effects. It's got but the thing that makes that film so hard to watch for me is Rob clearly doesn't have a very thick skin and was definitely not. He reacted badly when he got criticized for Halloween. Yeah, because he'd never been criticized in his career, I don't think. And
he always made great movies, though.
Yeah, well, and
he did.
Well,
he had always made great movies up until.
Yeah, he had done House of Thousand Corpses and Devil Reject.
Sorry, great is.
They, I love
good horror movies.
Yeah, I like those 2 movies. Okay,
I do too.
But anyway, when you watch that movie, knowing what I know, I mean, he was so pissed off at the journalists for shitting on his film. He has a whole scene where Malcolm McDowell rants about, journalists and how, they're scum. so many people complained about the over excessive cursing, and he purposely puts in a scene with Richard Brake saying fuck 17 times in a row on top of his normal excessive cursing throughout the whole film. A lot of fans complained about his use of Love Hurts in the first film, and he ends the whole thing with Love Hurts, a different version. It was clearly he was doing this the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it feels like this angry film that he didn't want to make, and he just did it as a fuck you to people. And it obviously all the stuff with his wife, that stuff really ruins the movie. It shouldn't be there. The whole ghost young Michael, and I know Chance, he's a good kid who played young Michael, but he's fucking terrible in it. And I don't know why they replaced Dag. I know he had gotten a little tall, but still.
Probably asked for more money.
Have him slouch, for God's sakes. They should have used Dag. And then the whole hobo Myers. He's been walking around as a hobo for 2 years and somehow acquired the world's largest hunting knife. I mean, it's like, I don't know what's going on with this movie. Long story short.
Wait, is this your number?
I haven't said yet, have I?
He hasn't even.
The suspense is building.
You can really get into that.
Yeah, well, I'm
I was
milking
wondering
this
too.
shit.
I'm like, is this?
I'm milking
I was
this
like
shit.
getting confused.
So I watched this movie last night, and I'm thinking, yep, I'm going with Resurrection. It's Resurrection is Resurrection is bad,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's popcorn bad.
Yeah.
And I love Brad Lorre. He's one of my favorite guys on the planet, and I can't make his movie last on this list. But yeah, I really struggled with it. I gave it another shot last night, Rob. I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry. We might as well just go 10-11. That's my 10-11. I'm going Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I am the same as Sean. Resurrection, Halloween 2. Resurrection was the movie at the time that kids that age who were really into horror movies, they needed to make for those kids. You know what I mean? It was this new online thing. It had these young kind of hip actors in it. I get why they made it. Doesn't mean it's a good fucking movie. It's not. I think LL Cool J did great in H2O, but I didn't see the okay, let's bring another rapper / actor in, like
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
and just the online part of it. Again, there's good parts to everything, right? Brad Lorre plays that character amazingly, right? Like, I think truly his walk is good, his actions are good. He's not stiff, but he's not loose, and to me, right now that Pleasance is out of the picture, Michael's the key focus, right? So Resurrection for me, horribly acted, horribly shot. There's not much good I can say about it.
Let's talk about the mask, though, real quick. The Resurrection mask, which is, I refer to it as the metrosexual Michael. It's
dude, it's the worst. I have one somewhere.
I have one that was made for the movie, and it's the hair is perfect. It's all airbrushed perfect, and
Dude, the eyebrows.
it's the Zoolander of Myers masks.
Terrible mask. Hey, but you know what they did? They rebuilt the house.
I give them props for that.
Right.
I give them props for that, and I give them.
That's where the money went.
Yeah, that's where all the money was. They rebuilt the house on some set in Toronto.
Fuck the mask. Get the money. Get the
Yeah.
house.
We got to get this thing right. But yeah, it was, I don't know, for that, and then getting into my last one, which is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Again, man, it sucks, right? Because this is my peer in music. This is a guy that I'm on festivals with all the time, that we toured with, and I love House of a Thousand Corpses. I love Devil's Rejects. I think they're great movies. I just wish anyone else other than this guy would have made these two films so I didn't have to feel bad about dogging him, because he's the sweetest guy, and Sherry is the sweetest person as well.
Yeah.
So, but I'm with you, man. Listen, the fucking horse. Are you fucking kidding me? A horse? Here's the thing. I'm with you. It feels like an angsty, angry movie,
Yeah.
You can't do that with someone else's intellectual property.
Well, also,
You know what I mean?
there's no likable characters in that movie.
No,
You hate all of them. They're all bitching and screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
No, and I feel like they changed Danielle's, like, it was like she was the same character throughout, right? Even in 4 or 5, and then in his version of 1, and it was just like they just changed her. They changed Scout. They like changed all these people, like, to be like, they're like, okay, you know what you did in the last movie? We'll flip that on its head and be something else. But it was like, it was also like acted differently. Not like, oh, your character is changing as who they are. It was just like, okay, no, just act differently. Like, it was almost like, hey, I don't want to make this movie, which he kind of said publicly, if I'm not right. You probably know more than me.
Yeah.
I know he said he didn't want to make the movie.
Yeah.
I wish he would have stuck with that.
Yeah.
And not made the movie. The guy makes a ton of money touring. He makes a ton of money doing other stuff. I wish he wouldn't have been so mad. I wish he would have made. I think he could have. Here's the thing. There's 2 ways you can go with this, right? You can see that people are dogging your first movie, and you can go make a fucking badass movie the second time around.
Yeah.
And fucking swing and a miss, man.
Also,
you know,
Michael
and again,
speaking every and then the end die, and then he's.
Yeah.
I know that's the director's cut. He does that, but still, I watched that last night. I was like, Mike, I don't want to hear
showing
Mike.
the whole face and
Yeah,
like
the
the homeless
beard.
guy. Yeah, like come on.
It's just, you know.
Well, Chris, I'm pretty sure what yours are.
Well, I mean, I'm right on par with you guys. Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Wow, so we all picked the same last two.
The same last 2, yeah. Resurrection was laughable and you know, gimmicky. It was a gimmick. It was around that time where a lot of horror movies were you know, doing a gimmick thing, you know. And
it was made for the time that it was made for.
And which dates it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
You know,
if you go back and watch that movie now, you're like, what are you, nerds? What are you, on dial-up?
Yeah, it's like it's just so gimmicky and not even worth. And yes, I love the metrosexual, you know, Hot Topic Mike Myers, you know, type
Tell
thing.
Beaker to fucking bail.
That's Oscar.
That's Oscar.
You gotta go,
Oscar
buddy.
to bail. No.
It's killing my sound.
This is what happens because you guys have cats.
But I don't have cats. I
okay,
have dogs.
Don't bash on my fucking cats. I will reach in.
I know how serious.
I will reach into there.
I know how serious you take your cats. I'm not
Also, let's not gloss over the just sheer disrespect of the way Laurie Strode was killed in Resurrection. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
really.
well, listen.
That's a given.
Who's that on though? Because she didn't want to come back and do this. So,
Right. Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, we gotta go back to the. Oh no, he choked out a security guard, changed clothes with him in the midst of all this.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like holy balls.
You know what I would have given to be in the writer's room when they're
I
like,
know.
how do we get out of this?
Oh, there was no writer's room. There was no room with writers in it. There's not.
There was one dude that's like, listen,
One dude
I know
was
he got his head cut off, but listen.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
Check it
think I
out.
told Chris this. I'm not going to get into the story part of it, but I had written a treatment for a follow up to H2O when I heard they were going to do it, and I sent it to Mustafa, and I don't know if it was ever looked at, considered, or anything, but I thought it was a good idea, and I went by myself, 10 a.m. screening, opening day at the theater, empty theater by myself, and watched Resurrection. I felt like vomiting afterwards. I was so I'm like, you're kidding me? You made that? I
Right.
mean,
Can we crowdsource making your treatment for this? Because honestly, we can just redo this whole thing right now.
You know, I'll tell you what else I made. I also had a really good idea for a Rob Zombie Halloween 3. And someday I'll tell you guys. Now, I think when you hear my idea, you'd go, wow, that is pretty fucking cool. Trust me. I'll tell you guys later. And then
All right.
it was a good idea.
Let's just leave that one where it lies.
Somebody keeps
Okay,
hold
so-
on 2 seconds. So this number keeps calling me.
It's Rob Zombie.
Hello?
Yeah! Wow!
Hey man, what the fuck?
I hear you
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
I'm everywhere. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me finish my. We talked about Resurrection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your
Terrible.
thoughts on the classic Halloween 2 from 2009.
Give me that! Give me that now!
Again, so angry that I don't even know. I barely have words. I didn't see it when it first came out because I was so adamantly against the other one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why bother? You know? And then so I watched it on whatever you call it, cable, satellite. I got maybe 10 minutes into it and turned it off because I have no problem doing that. I will turn shit off. I will walk out of the theater and get my money back. I do not care.
Well, let's talk about that opening. I mean, the first 25 minutes of the movie is a psych out. It's a dream. And I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed that first 25 minutes. It started off gnarly, brutal, just going for it, and then all of a sudden it's a nightmare. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Really? Really? That whole thing was a nightmare?
Yeah. And this goes back to my point in that, Hobo Myers fucking murdered me. I was like, anyway, I kept going back and watching it in pieces, like picking up where I left off it, because to sit through the whole thing, forget about it. So finally I did. I sat through the whole thing, and then knowing that I think that besides it being just ludicrous and ridiculous with the ghost and the horse and the what are we talking about with the beard sticking out from under the I'm like, what are we doing now? Why is he wearing a waxed jacket? I don't understand. So anyway, I
would have loved to have been there while Chris is watching this and like actually physically getting mad.
Oh, dude, I get so angry. Like my girlfriend would be like, stop watching it then. You're getting too upset. Like she's worried that I'll have a heart attack one of the days. I probably will. That's probably how I'm going to go out. I'll have a heart attack, be getting angry over watching a movie or storming out of a theater. Sure, he's a very nice guy.
Listen, you guys aren't the ones who are going to be on. You guys aren't the ones who are going to be on Blabbermouth next week. It's going to be me. So don't worry about saving face. It's going to be all me.
I don't know.
I hope so.
Well,
we need to
you.
get some more subscribers. So I hope Blabbermouth picks us up.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Me scathing Rob Zombie's movies will get us on there. Dude, if I have a day where I fold my laundry, I'm on Blabbermouth. So don't worry.
So there we have it.
My thing with Rob Zombie. First off, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Rob Zombie. I've been a fan of White Zombie. I'm a fan of his music. I go to his concerts.
I have a very rare White Zombie.
Very nice.
Ooh. That's very, very rare White Zombie Iceman right here.
That is badass. That is badass. And I actually think he's a good filmmaker. I think he's a very good director. I think he has a great eye, great art direction. He's an artist. I just wish, I would love to see Rob Zombie direct someone else's script. I would love to see him direct a really, really good, well-written script by someone else. Because I'm not really a fan of his screenwriting, but I think he's a great filmmaker, and I'd love to see him do something with someone else's script.
That's the thing about 2007, right? Shot amazingly.
Yeah.
Like it looked vintage in 2007. It looked like an older movie. Kind of like how 18 reminded me of. The pacing was good. Mm-hmm. Visually was great. I just, again, you're right. All the characters are the kind of same, over-tongued. That's just kind of what they are. And it's like, you took a classic movie and chose to remake it and do your own thing. And it's like, listen, the pool you're getting into with these people. When it comes to Halloween, these are Star Wars people, man.
Yeah.
People like us, we take this shit really seriously. And it's, should we? Are we fucking nerds for doing it? Probably.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's so what? It's like it's something that means something to us, and we don't have to explain why it does. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that when you take something on like that, you got to balls up, man. You got to learn how to take the criticism, because you did take characters and you did make them very foul-mouthed and listen, you got to play to your audience, right? Don't think that I don't get that side of it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take something so classic, what a giant gaggle of people would call the greatest horror movie of all time, and redo it, taking artistic license is one thing. Flipping the shit on its head is another thing.
When we were making the Halloween 25 Years of Terror documentary, I'm the one that got Rob on board to be interviewed for it. At the time, he was just a fan, and I just thought, you know, he'd have a good perspective and everything. And I remember I went to interview him he was in editing on Devil's Rejects at the time, and I asked him, one of the questions I asked him was if you were ever offered, you know, because remakes were suddenly becoming the thing. I said, if you were ever offered a remake of Halloween, would you do it? And he said, absolutely not. And I remember his words were, would you remake The Wild Bunch? Why would you do that?
I remember that.
Well, no, we left it out of the documentary.
Oh, really? Is that not anywhere?
We didn't put it in the documentary.
Did it come out in print though? Because like I remember him saying something
it's
like,
somewhere
"Would
in
you
print
remake
file.
whatever classic movie?"
Yeah, I heard that before.
But that was his response to me directly asking him if he'd ever remake Halloween, and he said no.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
Money does talk, yes, indeed. But
and by the way, they are remaking The Wild Bunch.
is Rob Zombie directing?
In podcast, right there.
Zach, do you have anything you want to plug or share for the Shinedown fans that tuned in that were like, this wasn't about Shinedown?
Oh, dude, our fans are gonna love this. Our fans are gonna love this, man. They're gonna, because they're Halloween fans too. Well, I'm not speaking for all of them, but some of them. We have the new Smith & Myers record, which is me and my singers acoustic thing, comes out October 9th. And that's it. You know, I'm not a big plugger, so I don't like plugging my own shit. But I will say publicly now, I don't know if we're going to keep what I said in earlier, of the dozens and dozens and dozens of interviews and podcasts I've done during this quarantine, if not all time. This is my favorite thing I've ever done, by far. You guys are awesome, and I hope you'll have me back because I've had a blast. We've been doing this for 2 hours.
That's awesome.
Which is insane.